Halo. Sabar guys.
Dari 𝘵𝘰𝘭𝘮 sendiri. Tadi udah dibahas sama Rere.
Back on it. All right, Veto's coming in here. Boom continues to ban split. Pearl coming back in. Last time we saw Pearl on PRX, it wasn't great.
Yeah, this is a bit of a head scratcher veto for me for PRX. They're going to ban Haven, which is a map that they have been playing a little bit, although it didn't go the way that they might have wanted to the last time they played it, but that was because they changed around a whole lot of roles. Pearl's going to be their pick after that game against DFM, and they've let Ascent in.
Yeah.
Fracture being the third map decider for PRX, though, I think is going to be very promising. It's been their best map in Pacific so far.
Yeah, I'm very curious to what they've got cooked up on Ascent, because PRX have banned Ascent the last 2 games before this. Now they're deciding to let it through. Boom immediately take advantage of that and pick it. So I'm very curious for that one. But we are starting on Pearl, where I think have we've seen Boom play this one time, right?
Twice actually, and they lost that game against T1, and then they got stomped by Nongshim. But Nongshim are insane on Pearl right now. Like, they beat everyone on Pearl. Ooh, okay.
Okay, so we're 50-50 split here, and I think that's a fair assessment of how today can go. Pearl, even though, yes, DFM 13 won them, that's sort of an unforgettable situation, but at the same time, PRX was like phenomenal on Pearl. They were unstoppable on Pearl for the longest time, so...
A long time ago. It's a new day and age now, if you ask me. I don't know, it's all different.
All right. Oh, well, he is full Boom today, and some of us are full PRX. We're going to send it down to the stage because VCT Pacific starts right now.
Hi Cyclone, hi Nova, hi Mr. Six. How are you today, Bell? I'm good. Sabar guys. Oh, like ya? Makan. Sabar ya guys, David telat, dia ikut nobar tapi telat anaknya. Guys, 2-0. Itu kan kemarin ya.
VCT Pacific, Stage 1. Rise Pacific.
Lucu pas you bilang gitu, Bel. Lucu apanya?
VCT Pacific, this is the match to watch. PRX are on a losing streak in Stage 1 right now, but they have finally added Patman to this roster.
Yeah, and we'll see how he's going to go. Obviously a big step up from him coming in from the Tier 2 scene and joining a Titan like PRX, but they need to turn around their 2025 and they've got almost no room for error.
Now, there is a lot of history between the two teams that are playing today. We got Boom Esports on the other side. All the Indonesian players and the coaches know each other for years at this point. Now, Boom, this Ascension team was the runner-up, and they have been winning all their Stage 1 games on the other hand. To have all these guys facing off today, this is going to be huge. If they win today, they have qualified for playoffs, and they're going to be the first team to qualify for playoffs.
Yeah, they shouldn't be here really, but they are, and they've grasped the opportunity with both hands. Underdogs no more, a 2-0 start, yet to drop a map in stage 1. It's crazy. You asked me this at the start of the year, who I would have thought would be the favorite in this game, and I wouldn't be giving you the answer I'm giving you today. But these guys have been looking incredibly dominant, incredibly smooth, and a win today locks them into that playoffs, which is what we're all aiming for.
And we see the coaches, we heard from them earlier. Alex and Six Fingers. Oh, it's Mind Freak! Coach Mind Freak, what's up?
I like it.
I like this.
They know each other very well. They know each other. He's leading the huddle now as well. Respect it. Alex is walking on as the assistant coach today. I mean, got to do that little
Mindset gak main, guys.
Can't waste too much time. I like it. That's a power move.
I mean, I think it's an interesting thing where it's like he is
Mindset
put
gak
in as a
main.
six-man at least
Siapa yang
in this
gantiin
game.
tadi yang ngeliat?
Patman's coming in and subbing
Patman
in.
itu ya.
It seems like he's still being involved in the discussion. He's still being involved in the team. So hoping there's no bad blood there or anything like that. Looks like it's all still good with the boys, and he's still going to be involved in some capacity with the team and in this game in terms of giving his input. I mean, he's been a long-time core member of the team.
So Alex did mention in the interview that Patman will be playing some of the maps, so this does seem to imply Mind Freaks will still be involved in a lot of ways, including as a player, but who really knows?
The six-man roster.
Hey.
We can't get rid of it. Well, T1 did it one time and everybody copies. That's how it goes.
I mean, it seems like it's very trendy right now, as is, you know, just jamming double duelists and saying, my guys can go frag. That seems like the generic thing you've got at the moment. For PRX, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, they've taken out their long-time most stable role player of the controller, and now we're just going into chaos, I think, and we'll see what they're actually going to end up choosing to play and who's going to be playing what on which map. It's going to be back into big question marks, which is something that Boom might have to adapt for, and I think might be something that PRX could be more comfortable with. Here we go on Pearl. They are once again playing double duelists, similar to what they played against DFM, but this time it is the Phoenix and the Yoru. I like the solo init fade whenever you do play it as a solo init, especially on maps that you need to be flexible on, like Pearl. That's going to really help them pressure doors and art and things like that.
And I like Jing and something back on Duelist on that comp, I have to say. But across on the side of Boom, keeping it a lot more simple. KO, Teo, a very, very standard, almost old school Pearl comp. So this is a very new school versus old school battle on this map.
And 𝘧𝘬 on the controller. So he's going to be the Astra player, and we'll see how consistent those roles are map to map as we keep an eye on this new PRX.
Definitely. A lot of things are swapping around here. This is a very exciting way to start the first series of today. Boom versus PRX. We're going to be sending it over to our casters, Komodo and Quack. In what sweater are you wearing? I love it.
Oh my god, thank you very much. But yeah, do you love it? The whole thing is, I asked Wardrobe for something that, you know, would describe what I feel like if PRX won. So yeah, fuzzy, comfy. I feel pretty warm right now.
Maybe I'm glad that sometimes I can't see color.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, in all honesty, but you know what? We do have to think about what the compositions look like. Hey, I'm Quack, this is Komodo. Any thoughts so far?
Look, got to address the buffs and nerfs that have come in as well, so whether or not they're going to have a little bit of a play towards this specifically with the KO and the Yoru. Of course, they're coming on both sides on Vice as well with those thorns, so I think that's something that we need to see if that's going to have any real impact coming in towards this. I think in terms of the video, though, I don't think Boom would have seen this one coming. When you look back towards kickoff against DFM and you're getting smacked 13-1 as PRX, you know, are you coming into this and it's like, all right, guys, we're getting Patman in the roster, that's a buff. Yeah, let's play Pearl.
That's definitely what you are hoping for. At least a lot of the PRX faithfuls in the crowd are hoping for that as well. Some Boom fans as well. But we'll see how it all fares off because these hungry beasts have been nipping at the heels. They're pouncing on that opportunity to lock in playoffs. Can PRX find their Morgan, or will they face extinction? What possibly could be that? And right now, we are off with PRX on the attack.
Well, they need to certainly bring something, isn't it? The 1-4 record so far for them this year, quite abysmal for PRX. So starting off with their own map pick, getting a pistol is not going to be a bad thing for them. Of course, 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 has been stellar throughout the course of this tourney so far, and he's not going to be tackled with in mid, but the other guys over at long will be.
Yeah, it's a bit of a duo stack as well. You've got Zero right up at the back, but still at least a bit of a trade from Jing, and then to flash out, create the pressure down B long.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily need to see PRX keep on going with this one. You know,
Kalau
one of the
menang
approaches
Boom
in
pasti
running the double
lolos ya.
duelist is even though that
Iya
they
deh
do lose
kayaknya.
something here, there's still going to be options for them. Jing can still run out with that Blaze as well. You know, I look towards what PRX are running here, and we can potentially see some parallels to the likes of 100Thieves, who will play Arsena on the Neon instead of the Phoenix here for Jing.
Boom, PRX.
So those double duelists definitely possibly
Nggak
coming
apa-apa,
in handy,
Bill,
but as
David,
well,
you good
you know, this
bit.
composition, especially Jing on the Phoenix, is something that PRX are really
masuk
familiar with. Now, doubling back in towards V-Link, but Famous gets ahead.
Yeah, Famous back on his jet.
Guys,
One
ada
of those
Dela,
agents that you
guys.
would usually assume is very capable with. This time looking the wrong way though, and he'll pay the price.
Bentar, aku ambil
It's pretty
garpu.
interesting, isn't it? We've seen Famous on the Neon so far now, but back in Ascension last year on the jet, but this time getting dicked out by Jing. A quad being picked up on the pistol.
Could be in for the ace to start off the affairs of PRX here. 𝘧𝘧𝘦𝘦 though, salvos, and a ghost in hand. This is all going to come down to what angles he can isolate and what shots he might be able to hit.
Jing looking a lot more comfortable. He's online for the ace as well, and receiving first contact spots him out, and there it is! The ace to kick things off for PRX.
Skor 2-1
Well, if you want to see PRX's current scoreline of being
Oh, yeah,
0-2 start
terlihat
off to
ya.
try and tackle in towards stage
Main
1,
freak di
get
sub kah, apa
towards, you know,
sakit?
Masters
Nggak
Toronto,
tahu
back
sih,
towards
iya.
the international
Tadi
stage
sih
where
di sub.
we didn't
Kayaknya
see
nggak
him for
sakit
the
deh, dia
first
kelihatan
time
sehat.
at the previous Masters, right?
Terus,
Starting off with an ace, not a bad idea.
Certainly a
Ooh,
very
Jing.
welcome sight, especially for the PRX fans, possibly in the chat as well. But it is still
Gila.
really early, Komodo.
Weh,
I
apa nih?
have seen
Baru
a
balik
lot of
udah
these
S aja.
advantages
PRX si
bubble
Jing.
before.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can't really forget about that one, that's for sure. But also remember, Boomer, the team that
Ini
currently,
udah
you know,
matiin
have
AC
3
aja,
individuals that we've seen run some aces before.
And leading in some statistics,
Oh, man.
clutches and kill deaths as well.
I mean, you look towards 𝘧𝘬𝘦 and 𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘦, right? You gotta see them be consistent. If Famous is getting out an operator
Hai
on this
Arta,
defensive side
hai
later on,
Dilecu.
that's something that you're
Batman
gonna have to try
kenapa
and piece together as
gantiin
PRX to
Mind Freak?
shut that one down.
Si Mind Freak
This time
ini.
though, up very quietly towards
Guys,
B-Long,
mau lihat My Sister nggak?
and now they
Oh, nggak mau deh.
Stars might reveal their intention, so maybe Famous quite aware,
Apakah
but
Mind
still
Freak
getting
akan
taken out
diganti oleh
quickly
Batman?
by the sharpshooting from the PRX members. Now down to the last 3 from Boom. They are somewhere
Halo.
hovering nearby.
Aku abis ini mandi dulu ya.
yeah, of course,
Oh.
no one really close to
Sampai-
any ultimates.
sampai nih.
Quite expensive ones on the side
Kamu
of Boom.
nggak jadi
See if
interview?
they can get any shots out here, but the hunt is certainly on for PRX.
Kamu nggak jadi interview?
Could push them all the
Jadi
way
ini
far back into
makanya
spawn.
mau mandi.
Yowes.
Prowlers revealing their location.
dulu dah ya.
Forsaken with the
Okay,
first,
okay.
of course, he hears everything, and he will collect
Dasar.
everything as well.
Batman
Doesn't
orang
fall.
mana? Batman
Picks
orang
up
mana
the
sih, Beb?
quad, and that's a
Gantiin
lot
Mind
of
Freak.
money going to the next round.
Iya, orang
They're on
Filipin.
point today,
Filipin,
that's
guys.
for sure. I mean, you're talking about some avenues to potentially even pick up a bonus round, right? Having the run it back for Jing, getting close towards
Gila.
Forsaken
Ada mandi
on the
dulu,
Steel
kamu.
Garden as well. I mean, you're certainly seeing the right
Ya,
players
orang
go for the right
belum
hunt,
mandi.
right pathing as well. The flawless round to come out
Udah.
in the second. So now
Mandi
I'll shift
dulu.
my eyes over towards
Okay.
Boom, right? What do we start to see with this composition? What setups can 𝘧𝘬𝘀 really try and
Kita
position
sambil
for the
makan ya,
team?
guys, biar lebih seru.
At least for now, he's positioning himself closer towards Art, possibly hinting at a
Iya, minyak.
there's a bit of mid play. They do read the intentions from PRX into the A site.
Yeah, but the 0 point, I believe, only spotting Patman, right? So when you think about how many players you're tagging up with that blade, you know, does one player signify a full shift in rotate? It starts to. 𝘧𝘧𝘦𝘦 is rotating over. First casualty is Jing. Forsaken falls too. That's an immediate shutdown on this bonus back.
Yeah, PRX gonna have to head off to find another opportunity somewhere
Sabar,
else on the
kayaknya
map,
aku
but I
agak
can't
late ya.
imagine too much going their way right now. Every single
Coba
lane
kita-
is being locked down.
And something not able to progress outside of club either, playing on that Marshall, so it's just dirty info for them at the moment that they'll try to recollect their forces together. Something I've been impressed with from Boom so far throughout this stage is their
Nah,
decision
baru
making and their
cepet ini.
patience, right? 𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘦, again,
That's the crazy thing.
I'll highlight his util positioning,
Makan
and I think most
guys,
importantly,
kita sekalian
discipline
mukbang
has
gitu
been
ya.
gorgeous, but
Yes.
this time it's going to be 𝘧𝘧𝘦𝘦 and Famous here at B.
You know, if you would have told me that Boom would be a disciplined team, or control team,
Yeah, crazy, right?
in 2020, the rest of the team descends upon him, so Boom able to answer back.
Surviving with 4 as well, you'll take Famous as the only casualty in that round, not able to
Gila,
get
kali ini
out
kita beda
operator just yet. Of
pendukungnya
course,
ya.
I
Ayo
think that's one
dukung
of my things
PRX,
that
aku
I'm
dukung
really going
Boom
to
dah.
be kind of waiting for in this series as well, right? To see if Famous is going to be able to keep on his #1 operator kill collection at the moment. And how, I think more importantly, PRX are going to be battling against that, right? Because you're not seeing any Vipers or anything like that they can play with the walls. Going to have to try and flash him off the lines, which, I mean, you look at the comp that PRX are running, they've got 3 players that are going to be able to drop in some flashes against him.
That's exactly what they're looking to do, at least for now.
Maybe not like that if you're flashing yourself, G.
Just for a tiny second, so at least for now it's still not the worst thing in the world, but there are a lot of Killjoy traps on the site itself.
Steel Garden in.
Blaze Wall as well. So trying to get that pinch on, trying to get the spike planted as soon as possible. Jing with a run it back will continue pushing down a single lane. 𝘴𝘠𝘬𝘀 though holds down Halls with a lone shorty. Something tries to deal with him, will be able to do just that, but not before.
Got another.
Yeah, he took down a second player. PRX now working at a numbers disadvantage, and the site is too hot for them to get the spike planted. Divine trying to provide some assistance, but that smoke goes a little bit too deep. 𝘧𝘬𝘀 and Famous have already gone past the sidelines. It's just something left now. Fake gate crash as well, but the spike still down. The stealth drone has spotted him out. This round is quite possibly over unless a miracle is pulled out of the hat.
Yeah, you just don't want to see Boom give him individual jewels.
He's got no util as well, 𝘠𝘠𝘠.
Very difficult.
And speaking of how disciplined Boom has been, look at this!
30 seconds left.
No individual duels. Famous holding the angle, spots out the shoulder, headshot easily found. 2-2.
Really good discipline, really good trading game from Boom in that. The positions that they're holding as well, the fact that 𝘧𝘬𝘀 is able to get away with 2. I mean, he's just been so consistent throughout the games that we've been seeing so far from Boom in their 2-0 wins. And I mean, you look towards it as well, right? I saw a great haunt from Patman that tagged up 𝘧𝘬𝘀 over at Street. But the run it back wasn't able to get deep enough to be able to capitalize on anything there. So something that you'll want to see PRX reel in a little bit later on, but the protocols are certainly there for them. I mean, I'm seeing them sneak up towards B, right, with all the Killjoy utility that 𝘧𝘬𝘀 has down and they're trying to break in, but it's the trading, it's the right angles from Boom. Very aware of their strengths on this map so far, which, I mean, it'll be further accentuated now that they've got the guns and PRX do not.
Absolutely. I do imagine, this is a composition that Boom is quite familiar with, having, studied PRX in the past, possibly. Of course, their most recent matchup was like 3 years ago.
I mean, talk about study. How much study can you get from a 13-1?
It's been a while, but, they are, both Indonesian teams, somewhat Indonesian players both sides, at least right now, though. 𝘴𝘠𝘬𝘀 trying to create a little bit of pressure, feeling some heat himself, getting taken out. Meanwhile, the site getting fired back as well. 𝘴𝘠𝘀𝘀, though, with this Phantom pickup, will continue to push through.
And because it's a 2 versus 4 at the moment, Famous has to bring out the Blade Storm because the Outlaw is going to be that distant gun.
Bisa menang sih ini PRX.
But look at PRX.
Yeah, they've pilfered these guns as well, right? So now they're playing with Phantom, Vandal. We've seen 𝘴𝘠𝘀 really be picking up the Phantom lately. And how damaging he's going to be able to be with that one. So this might be a bit of a thrifty to come through PRX's way.
Well, at least they haven't quite sussed out Famous's position just yet. He has a slight opportunity, possibly, but he has to be very careful as well. The Nebula blocking so much of it off. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 arriving right on time as well. Famous clears the angle, spots out Jing, has to back off.
Needed that shot, honestly. Time to be bought with the Blaze.
Okay. Can 𝘧𝘬𝘦 pull a rabbit out of the hat? Not quite. It's going to be Defy with the Sheriff shot instead. Famous now goes for the peek, but Jing in with a flash as well. It's 𝘴𝘠𝘀𝘀 to find the kill. I mean, he started this off with the Sheriff
𝘧𝘂𝘀 save this round,
and a triple kill in the round.
Yeah, he had a great lurk up through mid, honestly, just catching the Boom members none the wiser, and then you've got multiple members in Art that are just able to explode and play strength in numbers, right? Good patience from PRX in the way that they're navigating around the map, so it's good to see that the decision-making from them is wise at the moment.
We've seen Boom getting a bit of a read for how PRX might play, especially with the run it back from Jing in the previous round. But PRX also showing that they have a lot of cards up their sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, when Devi's picking up this Astra, I mean, it's not an agent that we usually associate with him whatsoever, right?
Oh, bit of a pop flash as well. So now PRX looking to exploit the mid lanes.
It was just 𝘧𝘂𝘀 though, and he did have the Sheriff, right? Because Famous now has the Operator. I wonder if PRX are going to be ready for this.
Would have to. Famous currently leading with 19 kills on the op right now, but instantly dealt with by something. Look at how he pilots that Yoru. Gate crashes all the way towards the back and throws it off sidelines.
I wouldn't be surprised if they want to just grab that Operator and go for a save here as Boom. You're in a 5 versus 3 deficit. It's going to be very difficult to try and get in on a retake. You just have to play towards the later portion of this half. How can you activate Famous with this Operator? This is the round where just, the one impact kill in mid, space created for PRX to explode into B, and a simple combination
belum
where
makan
something
makanya
is
dari
able to
pagi.
TP past 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 with that operator on the line towards street, get the kill. Pretty just ordinary. Couple of shots and the round's done.
This is exactly how you would want to play this agent composition, right? With the flashes, gate crashes towards the back.
And any kills that they can find on the hunt here are going to be quite damaging.
Ooh,
Forsaken. Yeah, he's not going to be able to find anything though. So, well done for PRX. Another round on the board on this attacking side.
Yeah, a bit of
Nice.
discipline for PRX as well, but we shall see, a bit of a second opportunity
So,
for Famous to find something with his op.
we're gonna have Coach Six Fingers in here for some words. Are we gonna have pseudo Coach Mind Freak on the side of PRX here? Because we did see Patman, right, sitting with Alex.
Yes, we did. We can't forget Fields as well.
Coach Fields, yes, absolutely. Always excited to see what strategies he's able to cook up, and especially when Boom are running this Team Heretics comp as well. There's going to be a little bit of tape that they can kind of work back towards, and what strength there's going to be. So far, not seeing too much, in terms of the KO buff, if you want to call it a buff that comes through on those flash drives, and the Yoru clone as well, right? Having a little bit of extra money that you need to spend on it. I still think something's been playing that quite okay.
Yeah, we haven't really, walked straight into any sheer walls just
Correct,
yet. You would imagine it does come into effect at some point, but there it is. Hey,
Yep.
assistant coach Mind Freak.
Well,
taking a sip of coffee.
Is the camera's closer to him, right? So does that make him in the actual coach slot? Like, is that what we're seeing here?
So Alex is the
Anjir,
assistant
coach-
coach
coach
today.
Mind
He can just chill. No desks to be broken today.
Not yet, at least. But we have
He's got that big
6 big booms. I don't know. He does have that somewhere, but at least right now, I have to imagine this timeout has to be called for Boom to reinforce mid a little bit more. PRX has been exploiting that in the past few rounds. So there it is, a couple of pings on the map. Sheer position nearby as well. He hears the footsteps.
Yeah, a big test for Shiro right now.
Tries to dodge it, holds the angle, but he is pretty much pinned down. Ooh, something. Tries to get ahead with a bit of a gate crash, but it's going to be a double for Shiro right now. Pop flashes as well, and with the underhand toss. Fragments to deter PRX from pushing any further. Forsaken just re-peeking it though.
Yeah, spotted out by the drone. Wanted to try and bring
Apa,
something back
Fek?
into
Ikut
a
apa,
workable
Nobar?
scenario for PRX. But at this point in time, some aggression dealt with by Shiro very nicely. And it's kind of just going to really stop PRX here. The spike is down at doors. You've got an operator looking after that as well. I like the timing on NC Slasher getting out that drone, by the way, just to really put Forsaken in a spot of bother. And something that I was kind of wondering as well, right? When was 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭 gonna kind of be
Ternyata
brought
wide
into the
paha
fray
lagi.
for Boom here? That was a great piece of utility to assist Shiro.
Adjustments back into the B side as well. And now it's going to be Famous holding the line with this op. But Divide, well, recalls the star.
But there's 30 seconds, right? You need some really big heroics at the moment. Famous with the operator is extending his kill lead with that gun. And now Jing, name of the game is damage, because the credits, I mean, they're not too flashy for
David,
Boom.
tanggal.
Spotted him out as well.
Yeah, and now you got the operator back on the line again.
So Boom incredibly aware. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking, especially with that op down. You have
11
to
ya?
imagine Divide somewhere
11
nearby,
kalau nggak
especially with that star being recalled. So Famous very much playing the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, I look towards him as well, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, you've got a couple of
13
flashes on Jing, on something. If Famous is going to be holding these really tight lines, he needs to either play on a little bit of
13
luck
kayaknya.
where he's not blinded to get the shot, or go for the lucky blind shot, right? So I'd be kind of interested to see how his repositioning is going to be around the map, because that's going to be one of Boom's strengths, right? It's on this defensive
gila, ada
side,
watchparty ya?
really
Kan baru tahu.
repositioning where he's going to be, how they're leaning around this map, what tells that PRX are going to come out with.
Huge home crowd watch party cheering out for Boom as well. In Jakarta, where Ascension was held last year, but back into this.
You've got the operator on this A site, and you've got all of 𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘭's utility at the moment. So there's dimensional drift. I mean, PRX are going to really try and go with this one. Cosmic Divide invested, but the utility is going to stall them out.
Just trying to push them off positions. The Nightfall being sent in as well. Famous just firing off warning shots, but not quite finding anything with pot shots. He does find one all of a sudden.
Yeah. Null Command.
With the Cosmic Divide now, so a bit of a pop flash through possibly. They're trying to play around the smokes. Null Command just does keep them at bay for the time being. PRX trying to hold on to the current positions. Pop flash sent through, and there it is. Bounced off the wall. Something gives himself a bit of an escape route. 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸𝘭 just by further time for PRX. Do they go back into A main? Still not quite safe. Boom are suppressing them with a lot of stray bullets. Something holds the angle. Famous in with a shorty. Something tries to go for the flick, but gunned down by Berserk as well. The Forsaken flick not quite there. Tries to hold it off right around stairs, but Famous spots the angle, sprays him down. A triple found in the round, and boom to tie things up.
Yeah, Divide to lose his life
Seimbang
first,
gini,
and
bro.
PRX still want to try and get the spike plant down and protect it when 𝘧𝘳𝘠𝘦𝘦's Null Command is in the mix. I saw the Blaze Wall come up from Jing, but a missed taunt from Patman. Dodged at the right time for the Boom members, not highlighting anybody. Makes it extremely difficult for PRX to kind of win any of the duels there. I mean, the shorties are being played well. The fact that Famous finds that first one whilst blind, I mean, it really does hurt out PRX, but I really have to say, maybe they press the issue a little bit too hard when something's Dimensional Drift goes in and he's spotting out, you know, Famous. You know the operator's there. When he's spotting out Berserks, you know the Killjoy utility is going to be around the site. They invested a lot to try and bully Boom out of that site, and Boom, once upon a time, they might have conceded the site. They might have been a little bit scared, but this Boom that we're seeing right now, Quack, are a team that has come through Ascension in the slot that they didn't think they'd be here when they lost to Nongshim, right? They are 2-0 up. They are contending with PRX in the early stages of this map.
And they're not conceding so far, not yielding the
Alex
site.
belum ngamuk
We
ya,
heard it
guys.
from the coach's interview
Masih
way,
santai.
before, you know, on the pre-show, Six Fingers mentioning that the players are incredibly driven. This is a very hungry team. Like we've mentioned, they win this and they are pretty much locked in for playoffs. PRX on the other hand,
I mean, are they gonna make it to another international event? That's the question for me.
they might not even make playoffs at this point, Dion.
I know, right? I know. I think my little fun thing is org-wise as well. PRX and Boom last time, it was 13-1 over towards PRX. We've got a lot of players in the server again. That's why I'm like, ooh, Fracture.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the last map. That was the last time these guys played each other. That's a bit spicy.
Bit of familiarity for sure, but still
2.5 years ago. I don't know how much you'd read into that.
Gotta rear our sights back into this current matchup where things are starting to heat up, very much so.
Different positions though with the utility. 𝘧𝘳𝘠𝘦𝘦.
Okay.
He repositions over into this mid-pon area. He did see the hot hands go out from Jing. It cleared where 𝘧𝘳 is playing.
Suppression Blade though spots everything out. Good little flash, but is it gonna be enough? They know where 𝘧𝘳𝘦 is. Patman will go in for the pinch. A little bit of utility as well just to push Entry Slasher off, but still trying to force it through. Famous will find a bit of a trade as he takes one down up B long.
But now there's a gap in the map, right? Berserks has to fall back a little bit.
Tapi
play on the
dua-duanya
back
low
of
sih.
utility that is still active. That turret, it's not spotting out anything, so he
Two
can
versus
absolutely play
two.
comfortable at this right lane. And Patman, oh Patman, the gun barrel, I think it was just spotted. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't matter because now it's all on Forsaken.
This is the worst spot for the spike to be dropped in. Okay.
But now it's heard, right? 30 seconds to go. The turret has been recalled. Forsaken's going to get in towards the side. There's a nano to buy time.
That's exactly what I mean. And all he's got is just this sheer wall where currently placed. Might just give him some information. Arcro's back in. Repositions, and now that's where he gets spotted out by Famous from the back. I mean, even if Famous wasn't there, 𝘧𝘳𝘠𝘦𝘭 was up by Dugout.
I do like the response from PRX in their approach to be able to take mid though, right? When they're lining up for this combo of utility to try and take out 𝘧𝘳𝘠𝘦's position where he got that double kill in the round previously, right? You're seeing these little adjustments come out from PRX, but again from Boom, they themselves are adjusting around the map really nicely as well. Famous didn't get too hungry, pushing up through B long, by the way. Very disconnected from the rest of the team. He's still going to kill, so it was really important that those kills amongst the street went, you know, whichever team's way to bring some stability, but in the 2 versus 2, I mean, Berserks, again, He's just coming up with, you know, not the most clutch play in the round to be able to win it, but the fact that he converts that very easily into the 2 versus 1 for the team is gorgeous.
Yeah, a little bit of mauling from Alex as well. I mean, starting to feel a lot of the pressure right now.
Dukung Boom apa PRX?
It's Boom recognizing PRX playing this double duelist composition, trying to work around B-Link as well, but now back into it. Bit of B-Long pressure. Famous back in with the up. He continues to lead and up kills. A second one going through. A bit of a repeat. Slightly whisked right past by. Jing will be able to escape with his life, but still pinned down around this pillar.
I don't know if they spotted Dos.
Anjir, Jing kill 5, berarti cuman yang pertama, round pertama terus nggak kill lagi sama sekarang.
I don't know. I don't think.
So far though,
David telat guys, dia harus interview dulu.
2 opening kills, a creep up behind the Nebula.
Oh man, still trying to go in off of it. At least the Blaze kind of healing him back up for just a bit, but Famous instantly deals with it using the shorty. Sheer towards B-Link as well, blocks every single lane. No joy found at all for PRX in this round.
Flawless round to come through from Boom. Every duel won, and Famous is on 30 HP, man. He's not scared to go in for it when, you know, you got the Blaze Wall coming up from Jing. Why would you expect a player who's on 30 HP to just challenge him with the shorty? You kind of don't, right? But that's what sometimes just the gusto from him to go in.
The morale boost from the previous rounds.
Yeah, well, it's 4
said
in
it
a row.
before, Boom are on a hot streak, and this guy's leading with 15 kills right now.
What did I talk about though, Quack? When Famous gets the operator in his hand, he is looking like a demon. And where is that gun again?
Oh, he's ready to go into Devil Trigger! It's a collapse! Instantly shuts down that running back from Jing.
Blades out as well.
PRX continuing to look to bully their way through into it. Famous will be able to pull out the blades, but here comes that Storm. Back into it with the shorty as well. NC Slasher holds down the line. Berserks to clean things up. Boom, with 7 rounds in their pockets right now.
Bener-bener
Man, they're on an
Boom lagi
absolute
jago-jagonya
run,
sih.
aren't they? 5 in a row to the last round of this half now. That was a complete shutdown.
jago,
The
guys.
collateral that comes out, maybe an overheat with the next one. Technically the collateral on the runner back, right? So Jing is not able to find some further positioning. That kill from 𝘧𝘬𝘬, I mean, yeah, you'll shut down Famous, but the fact that NC Slasher just gets 3 out of here, I mean, he's hot potatoing all the different weaponry. Berserks, he does not cave under the pressure.
Enggak loh.
The A site that he has made.
Permen karet loh.
This defensive side of Boom at the moment really coming up a treat. And now for PRX, a challenge in towards the A site nice and early. Remember, the Dimensional Drift last time, they went into the site really early to force the plant. This time, Boom give them a bit of this respect.
Kemarin di kick off nggak gini, Boom di stage 1 menggila. Ya, mungkin apa ya, latihannya belum cukup kali. Mereka udah dapat feelingnya mungkin sekarang.
Trying to buy more time and spacing. Steel Garden popped, and Boom are now all
Bibir
hovering
aku lagi
around the site.
terbakar ya guys.
Shiro integrates some space around Art. Bit of pressure as well with the flash, and that allows for Famous to go for peek. Jumping Judge, and he finds the double, and that's the lockdown. PRX has to evacuate the site. Petman unfortunately dug in a little too deep, and it's just a buy off the A main, and they know exactly where he is. Shiro paints it in all white, and that's gonna be Boom to pick up the A.
Kebantai
The protocols in
guys.
that round from Boom are absolutely gorgeous. This time they don't challenge the site
Bener-bener
itself,
beda
they allow
180
PRX to get
Iya,
in. They're
itu
gonna be confident in
dia.
their retake. Berserk's getting in the lockdown makes things really awkward
Itu
for them
dia,
as well. I mean, I'm
guys.
thinking to myself, how the hell is Patman gonna get out from the middle of the site? The fact that the Judge works a treat for Famers as well. They're just re-attacking this site from 4 different angles essentially. And then they know where 𝘧𝘬𝘬𝘭 is going to be playing from as well. That is a amazing performance from all of the Boom members in the tail end of that second half. And now the switch up for PRX, right? You got a question. You're playing double duelist, going on towards your defensive side as well. How are their rotations going to look like? How is the timing going to look like? Ingesting Patman in towards this roster now, having 𝘧𝘬𝘬𝘭 on the Astra because he needs to be really attentive to timing for this team.
It's gonna have to be key.
Kegigit.
Timing and getting a read
Ya
for the
ampun,
rotations.
kamu
PRX have only been showing this single look throughout this first
Sumpah
half.
kamu jelek banget sih tadi, sumpah. Harusnya aku on cam.
And Boom have readily dealt with it.
You gotta remember as well, I don't know how many people would have expected 𝘴𝘩 to be the pick coming in towards this series from PRX. You look at the history, it ain't that crash hot this year, of course.
On cam ya.
recent Pearl play as well, back in kickoffs against Noxian. That was a bit of a loss. But now, looking this way, 8-4 from the first half, they are happy to take this win.
You got to remember though as well, there was that match against T1 where they did lose at 11-13, right? There's question marks around that series as a whole. You know, Boom kind of could have won that in my eyes, but they didn't. But yeah, I mean, we've seen a little bit of help from them as well. Didn't look the greatest against 𝘺𝘰𝘬𝘭, who just had a really good idea on their defensive side.
Aku juga ngerasa Boom lagi jago-jagonya nggak sih?
You know, questions that I'm posing to PaperX right now. How is their defense really going to look? It's a 1-4 split, more structured to the A side, and Boom. I mean, if they had the idea that this is going to be the positions of PaperX here, you know, if they've got that 𝘧𝘬𝘭𝑚, well, they've run it right.
Certainly able to see a lot across the map. You've got that double initiator, and right now, just a clear out pillar gives them a little bit more confidence in pushing down V-Link. Something, though, now absolutely needing to get crashed the heck out of there. Okay.
Yeah, but time can be bought as well, right? You've got the shear that'll eventually be popped by Forsaken. He doesn't need to really rotate currently. And PaperX, they're investing what they can around this A site, thinking there might be a rotate back over there. But, I mean, this idea from PaperX is not it. Like, there's 3 players still surrounding the A side. A drone's coming in from Boom. You spotted out 3 players at long earlier as something. You had to call for the rotations earlier.
Yeah, at this point you're going in for that full retake game, and it's not going to be the easiest. 0 point just to ensure that something still right around the corners, and the rest of heaven, everything all blocked off by the smokes.
Si Jing setelah ace round pertama udah nge-kill.
Oh iya,
dia ace tadi.
Tadi ace round pertama pakai ghost. 5 kan, terus sekarang kayaknya tadi terakhir aku lihat 5 nih, nggak tahu deh sekarang.
Coba ya kita lihat ya. Jingkir 1.
Sekarang sih.
Might be able to surprise PaperX. They might have heard a peep as well though. Now getting off the in with the classic taps.
Dosi jago sih.
Before taking down Jing, what is this from Boom?
Yeah, that's really nice timing
Coba
from
jingkil
𝘺𝘬𝘭.
berapa kill? Iya loh. Dia nggak bunuh lagi loh.
Di round pertama terus nggak kill lagi sampai sekarang.
Gila, dia bunuh 6 pistol semua.
That is absolutely gorgeous to come out from him. A well-structured pistol to come through from Boom. A good idea at the beginning, the middle, of the end. Even when they're trying to establish the plant, right? Just getting those salvos down to buy a little bit of extra time. Really well done.
Astranya sama-sama di bawah nih.
Continue this run from the tail end of their defensive
Astranya
side.
sama-sama.
Off to the next round as well.
Oh iya, si Dos juga baru kill 3.
Something on a Marshall though.
Kill 1 sebelumnya, sebelum round ini.
Iya. Tadi kan klasik 2, berarti sebelumnya cuma kill 1.
Just a bit of a
After
fight
12 round.
Well, the fight across the map unfortunately goes down the wayside as well. A bit of a flash. Patman will be able to pick up a double, but still met with force. Happy to collect on this round.
Yep, double digits achieved from Boom. This bonus round is going to be a bit of a do-or-die situation for PaperX to start off as well. If they drop this one, well, makes it really difficult to come on back. But of course, it's not over until it's over.
Susah balik sih kalau mereka nggak menang.
But it is now or never.
Yeah, and on the defensive side as well, right? So
Boom menang 2-0 sih kayaknya. Ascentnya Boom 4 banget.
They're going to get a little bit more proactive up through A, because currently they're spreading a little default around the map. It's not the worst idea when you're going up against the lesser weaponry, but for Boom, they've got a bit of an A play.
And we have already seen Boom deal with the B site, quite effectively, especially with the 0 point as well. Now
kalau PRX gak menang ini dia udah susah masuk playoff gak sih? Kan kayak stage 1 tuh kayak lihat poin kan.
Iya, harus menang last 2 match.
For a post plant if he doesn't get it off the spike.
What happened PaperX? I don't know.
Iya.
Tapi emang PaperX lagi kayak like dari map sebelumnya juga, maksudnya match sebelumnya juga kayak kurang gitu.
Iya.
Tapi si Aran gak main loh, Bip. Dia jadi 6
tahu aku dari kemarin. Nggak tahu aku minggu ini doang atau apa, nggak tahu.
So it really comes down to this 50 seconds for Boom. Do they stay and wait to explode out onto this A site? It's not the worst idea, and they're going to go for it.
Will PaperX be able to hold? Patman in with the off angle. Tries to hold towards stairs as well. Bit of burst through, and that's going to be that.
Patman.
Patman. What a debut. I mean, back in from now into this game on PaperX, his first day.
Yep, had to see something big come up from PRX in that round there as well, and just being able
kayak
to
game apa nggak sih? Pac game itu nggak sih?
Karena dia suka Batman,
that might be a bit of a blessing for them as well, right?
Oh, dia suka Batman, makanya namanya Batman.
Iya.
Kok lucu ya?
Karena namanya Patrick, jadi diganti Pat. Namanya Patrick. Patrick Mendoza namanya. Jadi disingkat Batman.
Back into it. Oh, PRX pushing up as well, though. Oh, and it's instantly done with Famous and his op.
And what did I say earlier? If you're playing these operator lines as Famous, are you dodging the flashes or playing on a little bit of luck and timing? Well, the flash didn't meet its mark, unfortunately. Jing, a player that we've seen on Phoenix so often, gets the wrong timing.
Rather unfortunate.
Baby Jing sih nggak main loh.
They're all struggling to reposition right
Apa
now.
sih?
There's
Kenapa
going to be
lagi
so
Baby
much
Jing?
emphasis on Forsaken and what he can spot here. Of course, the shear is not going to be available right now for him.
And you're 5 and 10. You kind of know that Boom are barreling down this B long position. What are the rest of the players doing?
Haunting gets a bit of a reveal. It's all the players from Boom looking to get out into the site. Patman, yeah, that was a bit ill-advised. Forsaken couldn't get any trades there.
Way far too exposed, and Boom are just surrounding this site. Shiro holding down halls, the rest of the team, you know, they have that Veto in play. Salvo's possibly coming back online at some point. Hall's not cleared, hello?
Yeah, not even looking for him. You had to cut a couple of corners there as PRX, I guess. Like, I get the idea. But the fact that no one was just expecting him to play back holes, now you got to call the audible. Guys, we've got to save here. We need weapons going into the next round if we want to try and stop Boom from getting onto map point.
Kayak ada pilihan
I gotta
game
give
gitu
credit to
bang.
Boom. Like the ideas that they're coming out with here, Quack, are amazing. The fact that they have that early engagement that they win,
Gila
they
dibantai
settle
gini,
down,
nggak seru
PRX
banget nontonnya ini.
just like leave the site to Forsaken
Harus
to try and
summit
get
ya, baru
spotting
seru.
over at Street.
Iya.
How much space does that give
Kalau
Boom to
nonton
just wait for
RRQ
Salvos
baru.
to come back online? Wait for them to pop an L command and go in together as a team?
RRQ nggak ada mukamu di sini, makanya di layar.
Harus batai kalau RRQ, kalau sengit nggak seru.
Iya.
Kalau ini harusnya
so there's the timing.
sengit
Harusnya
aja.
sengit.
That's the luck factor. It's
Iya.
either he spots them before they're blinded, or he gets it on a little bit of luck and timing because Jing is holding double.
Gila di Gamers Paradise tuh kamu nontonnya gitu di
Itu
Gamers
Gamers
Paradise.
Paradise ya?
It's not
Iya.
luck, it's just pure skill.
For
It's
sure.
what is the lyric? It's 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will.
And let's just add in there, it's Famous with an operator. It's just bound to happen.
Currently still leading in the off statistics.
Yeah, I mean, my question again, I kind of think I want to harp on this issue at the
Aaron
moment.
sih
We
tadi
know
entry
how
jadi coach
powerful
loh.
Famous is when he gets the operator in
Iya,
hand.
Aaron
On the
yang tadi
defensive
pas
side,
walkout
sure.
kan.
On the
Iya.
attacking side right now
Nonton
as
ya?
well, he's still making this
Nonton
gun
dari HP
sing,
aku.
and there's no rhyme or reason as to why PRX aren't trying to drone him out, you know, sniff him out, get some early positioning, early reads. You know, if you want to try and allow the operator to not get on these lines, you're going to have to play a little bit deeper because they're not winning these contests up through B ramp. They're not taking
Ya,
A main
PRX sih
control,
lagi
right?
downfall
You got
banget
Fade
loh.
on your team if you're throwing in a haunt, you're throwing in
Iya.
some prowls as
Kenapa ya?
well. You want to try and tackle some
Aku juga
space,
ngerasa
get in some
kayak
flashes. They've got the flashes to do
gak
so.
improve
I'm
tapi
just
kayak
hearing a
malah
lot of
nurun banget.
conditions working against PRX right now.
Ya nurun lah,
100%.
tim-tim
Working
yang
at
lain kayaknya
diminishing
pada
returns.
improve.
This buy, if it doesn't work out,
PRX
you're facing map point.
Iya
Famous
sih.
still on this
Ya
off.
bukan nurun,
This
tapi
time
kayak
happy
jatuhnya
to
tuh kayak
lock down
kelihatan
the angles
jadi
towards
yang
mid.
karena yang lain yang
PRX though,
meningkat,
stack up
merekanya
onto
masih
the site. That's
at the
two
same
suppressed
stage
off the
gitu,
zero
ngerti
point,
nggak
but
sih?
there were 4 players
Jadi
in that
kelihatannya
bound,
looks
right?
like.
So a couple of dodges out, and now we get some A main control from PRX. They start to shift over towards B, but there's an absence of positions up the alleyway, right?
Lockdown if they do decide to continue to push, not lockdown, sorry.
Gila,
It's
entry pakai
from the
AW.
alarm bot, so PRX can't quite push all the way through. Meanwhile, Boom.
If they do continue to this B site, time can be bought from Patman on the ult.
Oh, there are a lot of players on the other side. Jump peek,
kaget
and he
Patman.
sustained himself.
There's the ult, there's the C's as well, so time to be bought, but
Patman
you're going to
kaget.
funnel them in towards Jing.
Kaget lah.
Does he
Hampir
have
mati
it?
dia.
It is famous with the up, and he shuts
hampir
it
kena
down
timing loh
again.
tuh.
Yeah, he's on the dry line. Just
Gila
not
sih,
expecting them to
AWP loh.
be positioned in connector when you
Crazy.
100% would have to assume so. It's dirty. You cannot just waltz out there as Jing, as a solo player, into a question-marked number. There could have been 5 Boom members at that spot.
No flash either, so it's really unfortunate, but at least
Gila Patman ya.
will be able to answer the Pat signal. Continues to hold the angle as well, but here it comes. It's going to be dueling mechanics. Divide in for additional support as well. Something arriving around B long. But it's going to be PRX finding that pinch from towards the back of the lane. Able to shut down Boom's onslaught.
Iya, dulu
Nice
dia
enough
di
from Patman to
boom.
hold that one down and really lock in.
Dulu pas kamu di
Say,
boom siapa aja
problem
cuman
that Jing,
berserk ya?
goes for that dry jewel,
Berserk sama
yes,
famous.
but you got
Sama
Forsaken still
famous
around
ya,
the B side,
sisanya
you got his
udah
utility
enggak
as well.
berarti.
So there's a couple of
Kakak juga pas itu
backup
belum masuk
plans
ya?
from PRX
Iya,
in that
belum.
spot, but I'm looking at this scoreline by the way,
Nice.
Quack, you know, it's 11 for Boom, right? You can't make many mistakes as PRX on this defensive side now, so these rounds have to start accumulating.
I have to imagine it's a really tough
6-11
thing for
masih
Jing to
bisa
deal
lah.
with as well. You know, a lot of the fans, or fake fans, calling him different names as such. But he has to deal with this adversity now.
I mean,
Pushing up into where it's A main.
it's the double duelists that are both 6 kills, right?
Oh,
They're
3
not
orang
really
kena
too
impact.
impactful in this game so far. 0.3 in A main.
And the sheer wall instantly tripped. Famous on a bit of a journey with this judge currently.
Yeah, do they expect him to be pushed through connector? The Prowler goes into him, and the Prowler has just seen Famous, by the way, so they're very targeted on him here.
Run it back, suss out the judge, but here comes Patman as well. Now to hold the angle, Divine finds the frag against Famous, just Shiro left, in with a Sheriff. Tries to peek back out from connector, gets shut down.
Nice.
PRX happy to collect on yet another round. You've got 4 more to go.
Dia
Yeah,
tahu
you need
pakai
those
jet loh.
jimmies. If there's a lesser equipped round to come through from Boom, you need those ones, you know, in a flawless
Gila, JJ belum nge-kill lagi
capacity,
lah.
or, you know, 4 players
JJ.
surviving, which is exactly what they do.
Berapa
They're
dia?
really good conditioning as well.
Si kill 6.
Sheer goes up, making
Oh,
sure
iya.
the team that they're covering the alleyway
Ini
still
killnya
if
pas pistol doang
if
loh.
Street is lost, they're making sure that Connector is prowling out.
JJ
If there's
lagi
anyone
bete
close as
nih,
well.
yang
So the
auto
ideas and
over.
fundamentals of space clearing is at least still there for the team together as a
Burn
unit.
out ah.
Starting to wake up a little bit. You gotta love the run it back from Jing just to find where Famous is. But yeah, that was, you know, a bit of a half-eye round from Boom, and here comes the full force back into A. They've started to read for how PRX have been, you know, getting that early A main presence.
And if this was a quick A take from Boom as well, they could eventually have the gate crash over from something, which I believe, it's not made it all the way back into the spawn at the moment, but he does have the operator over at the B site, so you'd almost want to kind of not see him just fully disconnect from B here.
Alright, he does kind of crash with the back for a bit. Boom hasn't made a single peep thus far. And this is when they start to push down B link. Good pop flash as well. But Forsaken playing it safe.
Yeah, Boom, a minute on the clock still. They would have to bait out these stars over at the A side that still has majority of PRX's force here.
Yeah, and with Forsaken jiggle peeking, he doesn't spot any more further down B link, so it's a bit of a read into this A site. Jing trying to force the issue with the flashes, but now pinned into his current
Oh,
position.
Jing bunuh.
And it allows
Ya.
Fancy Slash to find the double back in.
Mantap.
Jing only finding one. Divine now has to hold and anchor down the site. But in with the Armageddon as well,
Better.
he feels a lot of pressure. The Cosmic Divide blocking every single sight line. Clones out, but instantly dealt with. Forsaken able to find a frag off of it. Steel Garden is look at NC Slasher, ready to hold. Just something left. Lose this, and it's map point for Boom. He's got an op Komodo. Peeks the close angle, swaps to the shorty, finds NC Slasher, and swaps to a rifle. Has a chance. But it's 2 players holding up by stairs. He taps, creeps up front. Not quite finding Berserks, it's Berserks who slashes him with a giant sword, and that's gonna be Boom reaching that crucial map point.
You gotta remember when those walls are up as well, your gun technically spotted first, so the fact that NC Slasher grabs that 3rd kill on 5 HP is absolutely ridiculous to come on out. I was thinking it was a little bit claustrophobic around this side at the moment. I mean, that shot is just absolutely brilliant from him, not gonna
Gila,
lie.
Takel kill 3 loh,
Boom,
Dip.
they immediately answer back.
Ini orang kenapa mukanya chill mulu ya, kayak nggak ada reaksi?
And now it's 5, right? It's 5
Terus
map
tadi Della
points
tanya
for Boom
aku,
to close
itu
out
Takel
Pearl
makan
here.
ya?
PaperX
Itu
has picked.
makan permen karet, bukan makan.
PaperX decide to push without stopping a single
Kali lagi turnamen
Salvos will
tuh
slow them down, but Jing happy to fire back. Defy with the support as
makan.
well. But what is this spike transfer from Jing?
Gila, buta.
A bit of presence found by Forsaken, but now smoke
Udah
off
sih,
around
bye-bye
Shiro.
sih ini.
He
Tuh,
continues to
tuh.
creep through though. Position not quite found. Shiro lets him slip. And 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 will pay the price. Forsaken collects with the triple.
Oh,
Final
ada Dela.
round for PaperX
Ya,
to
ada
keep
Dela.
them in the game.
Gimana?
And then
Sudah
there was
kamu.
four.
Oh.
Shiro.
Ya.
Nice plays off the
Tackle
flash
ganteng
drives,
nggak?
don't get me wrong. I
Tackle
thought it
ganteng
snuck in towards the site, trigger discipline on towards Forsaken, but
Ya gitu
2
aja
versus 2.
katanya.
In fact,
Biasa aja.
Forsaken's able to at least bring that down
Oh, mau
into
dikenalin
an
nggak?
advantageous
Mau
position as
dikenalin
well,
nggak?
right? There's a couple of these duels that go a little bit
nggak
haywire.
mau
PaperX,
dia.
how blinded were they in main when they first tried to take all of those duels, right?
Yeah, I feel like 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘭 is putting it
Jadong
kindly at this
sih,
point. This is a
jago
really
sih.
dicey situation for PaperX to be in, and every round still cut so close.
Yep.
Boom now in with a bit of another half buy, famous on the Bucky, 𝘴𝘁𝘳 on the Guardian. Everyone watching with bated breath.
Pretty much. Back on this operator line as well. Seen a
Miss
couple of
dia.
those lopsided shots from something. That's
Oh,
bad.
never mind.
Good
Ah,
flick,
ngapain digigil lagi?
and that deters any more
Nggak tahu.
peeks from Boom. Further
Ngapain dua
down this
kali ya?
blue
Udah tahu
position.
satu di
Into
sana.
B-Link though.
Udah tahu
That's where PaperX takes
AWP
a hit.
masih
Jing
digigil.
now has to come up huge, and he does!
Tackle ya.
The double picked up.
Oh.
Thorns
Iya
instantly
sih
tripped.
tackle.
And he's going to look to top himself off with the hot hands.
Baby Jing nih,
Forsaken,
bos.
for additional support, the spike on the ground. Famous looking to pick it up. Has the Bucky, and he fires off a shot. Pump action
Kasian Baby
indeed.
Jing.
He wants one more. If he could get his blades up here, there's a chance if PaperX give him all of these 1v1.
Jadi guys, backstory
Forsaken though
ya,
with this
kenapa
angle really tight.
David
It's
nih
not
suka
going to be
banget nyindir aku
doable for
Baby
Famous,
Jing,
even if he
Baby
does peek
Jing
through.
gitu.
Hey, look,
Karena
the
dulu
gun.
aku bocah
get the sheriff,
bocil
the
PRX
sidearm.
gitu.
I don't know
Terus
if he
aku
got it.
bilang
I don't
Baby
think he
Jing.
don't think so. So
Sampai
still with the
sekarang
Bucky, he
masih
tries again,
dibahas,
but
anjir,
shut down by
orang.
𝘧𝘬𝘦, and PaperX still hanging by a thread, but slowly, reeling themselves in.
Yeah, but these are the sort of rounds where you've got a lot of your ultimates available as well, right? So
Sekarang dia
if you
kalau
want to try and
apa-apa,
navigate
Baby
a
Jing,
retake
Baby
back
Jing
in
lah.
towards a map, a bit of a comeback, you're going to have to rely on a couple of those pivotal ults.
Yeah, very much so. But I have to say, in this round, Jing redeeming himself with that little double, holds down the line for PaperX, has to keep that up for the rest of the map.
Hero udah
If they are
ulti,
to
kill
convert
game
this into
minus
an
1.
overtime,
Wah,
this
susah nih
is
Ronin ini.
PaperX's map pick.
Well, that is certainly the scary
tapi
word to be
ada.
saying when we
Tapi
consider.
masih ada
Boom.
Kayo, masih ada
But we'll see.
Yang menang Ronin ini yang menang.
Contest over towards the B side early on.
Kalau
trying to
PaperX
push
menang
Forsaken
Ronin ini
back,
bisa comeback
timing
nih.
on the deeper Nebula.
Iya
Kalau
lah.
bisa
It's the
menang
1-4
Ronin ini.
setup again here for PaperX, where they
Penting nih.
really need to start to have some
Gila
rotates
si
back
Famous
over
sudah
here.
25 Pip.
Boom, no, not necessarily needing to stay at this
Terus
B
spike-nya
site
ditinggal.
either. Some lurks over towards A. You've got Patman who's actually just
Jangan
prowled
ke
in
B
on
guys,
kayaknya.
balik,
to clear
balik,
both
balik.
sides. So there was,
Ini
positions
fake
around the map
BKA
that
ini.
Boom technically could have snuck into.
Got to be very careful as well, though. I mean, you mentioned those ultimates from before Komodo. PaperX has a few, but Shiro has the null command.
Yeah, but it's the passive approach from Boom at the moment that if they do let the timer go down extremely low, those ults could essentially just win the round for
Ngapain
PaperX.
sih?
Shiro across
Oh,
the map
ngebait.
as well. Boom
Wah.
trying to get a read for where PaperX have set up.
The 0 point did just get something on this deeper A line as well.
Something. Got to be careful, buddy. He does have the op, so looks for an escape route again.
Oh,
And this is where Boom recollects themselves towards his B site. PaperX's
Yeah.
rotations.
kontrol B.
Forsaken starts to rotate towards the A
Oh,
side.
control
You do
B
have three
fake
players here.
A,
Remember, the
terus ke
Horde
B
has
gitu
the-
ya.
the
Iya,
Nightfall
iya,
Patman is
kontrol
over
B.
here.
Boom
Bait
keeping
wallnya,
that split
Vice-nya ada
3
wall
and 2.
kan. Takut wallnya di B.
Does find its mark.
Osh!
Jing in with a run it back as well. Defy to receive
Okay.
first
That's
contact.
Yep,
Hampir
And
mati
that is
Baby
the
Jing.
entire
No
round
time,
right there.
man.
Jing finding and
Saving.
dealing a little bit more damage to Boom's economy as well. 10 seconds and Boom looking for the save.
As I said,
Oh, PaperX. Starting to look alive, starting to come alive, but
Coba
Shiro!
ulti tapi.
What is that? Microflicks again. Divide answer back as well. NC Slasher to find a little bit more.
Bagus sih,
It's not
mahal
bad
sih
in terms
Ron
of
ini.
economical damage.
yeah, all the damage at the end there, I mean, it's
PaperX
pretty
ada
costly for
ulti
Boom, not gonna lie.
dapat
You're opting for the
something.
save and you only take one
Yes.
gun out of that previous round. There's a discussion to
OP
be
nih
had
kayaknya
here,
nih,
that
bisa
is
OP,
for sure.
bisa OP.
What did I mention about the ultimates that are going to be there, right? As soon as that Nightfall comes down, that pretty much staves off Boom from being able to get in there. It doesn't matter that the null command goes in as well. When you're trying to just get in towards the site, you've got to give yourself a little bit of breathing room if you've not destroyed a
I'm
lot of
out
that
there.
vice
Satu nih.
utility, if you've
Yeah.
not found anyone on
Boom.
towards the site, right? That's a little bit
Satu
too
poin lagi guys,
passive
satu
from Boom
poin.
in that position.
And that's going to be the final timeout of the match being called by Boom. Can they find their round? 2 chances left, Komodo.
Yep.
And PRX have been starting to get a grasp of how Boom are looking to attack. They've been
Kalau time out tuh
able to
gimana
read
sih?
some
Dia
of the
kayak the player yang
rotations
call
across.
untuk time out atau the
Maybe not even
coach?
quite, just trying to read for how
Dua-duanya bisa.
Boom are trying
Oh,
to work
dua-duanya
their
bisa.
way across the map.
Iya.
Yeah, but any slip-ups on the PRX side,
Tapi kayak
you've got to
every
consider as well
per
that that
half
might be the
half
map
round
done
cuma
and dusted,
sekali
right?
gitu
So I
ya.
wonder how passive that actually makes
Nggak bisa 2 kali.
This
Max
is
2 kali
gonna be
pokoknya.
quite tricky for
Oh,
sure.
max
And
2
the
kali
Alpha's
nggak lihat
already spent
half
now.
atau apanya.
Iya, iya.
On the brighter side for them, I guess, if you want to try and have a silver lining in the superstitious environment, they have lost their first maps in both of the series that they've played so far against PRX and 𝘧𝘬𝘕, and then won the second map.
𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 -1.
Maybe that'll happen here too if they
Soalnya
do
seru
lose
nih.
this.
Kalau run ini PRX menang seru nih next run.
I'm not a very superstitious guy myself.
Jadi sengit ya.
We'll see.
Sesuai
Adu
apa
ulti.
yang kamu
Have
mau.
been known to be a little bit superstitious
Nggak, adu
themselves,
ulti.
but at
Ultinya
least for
banyak.
now, needing to read the map incredibly well.
Nih,
Divine does have the
Yoru
cosmic
kalau
divide.
dapat 2 kill ada
It is
ulti nih.
Boom on a bit
Kalau
of thrifty though.
Vice kalau
If
dapat
this
2 kill
round does go
ada
PRX's
ulti
way,
next.
you will have the Armageddon on NC Slasher as well
Yeah.
as the lockdown,
Anjing,
unless
weak
you want to
banget.
try and get them in this
Fine.
round where you now have a player advantage.
The pistol kill.
This will push something off the line. They know that the operator is around this A site, but do they know that mid is being crept up on by PRX?
And toss as well. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 low HP back in towards
Oh, they
mid
do invest the
window.
lockdown.
Spots out the
Ooh.
next
He saw
𝘧𝘬𝘦.
Forsaken. He saw him as well.
And that's a lot of info.
Wah,
Gila, Beb, kalau
thrifty.
thrifty, ya aku baru mau bilang.
Kalau
thrifty gila sih.
Thrifty.
With the blades. A lot of space being collected on by Boom. Just 2 players out from
Ini
PRX
ngapain,
to confirm this entire
bro?
round. Is it doable? Not
Oh,
quite.
udahlah
Just
thrifting,
Divine
bro.
left, and he's spotted out by the back knives in towards the neck of Divine.
Boom
Finds the
lah.
round. The final score at this match, 13-10.
A flawless thrifty to come through from Boom. Would you have it any other way? A classic PRX moment. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I can't believe that has happened when you think that they should be gimmied the round, Quack. They make it difficult for themselves. 𝘧𝘦𝘦 had a shocking start to this map, but the
Gila,
timing
JJ.
he has just found in that round
JJ
for the
sih
2
kena mental
kills
banget sih
and the
itu.
repositions for the rest of the team to explode out into
Okay.
that side. Oh my.
𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭, Davai,
A little
Davai.
bit critical right now is how the round has played out, but you gotta give credit where it's due. That entire round played masterfully by Boom. 𝘧𝘦𝘦 with the positioning. 𝘧𝘦𝘦 finding the second kill as well. Even the lockdown finding its value because of that little moment. Just a lot going the wayside for PRX, and it doesn't feel good at all.
I mean, with that last round, what I talk about, right? If they can get the Armageddon in, they've got the lockdown, the blades that eventually come through from Famous as well. I mean, a couple of ultimates can certainly steer a map at some really pivotal swing round times. So PRX's map pick in Pearl, a question mark to come into this one, an unexpected pick not going their way, which means that Ascent around the corner, Boom's pick. PRX have to find that if they want to get anything in this series.
Aku harus
At
diam dulu.
least we did find a little bit of a
Harus
quad
apa?
from Patman on his debut
Diam,
match, but we'll
okay.
need to see a lot more for the next one coming up. I mentioned it before, you know, these hungry beasts are incredibly
Ya,
hungry
pindahin dong.
for their
Oh,
playoffs
kelihatan ya
position.
kursornya.
How is the desk
Maafkan ya.
feeling though, I wonder? I mean, big time 𝘧𝘬𝘕, they look pretty
Aku
hungry
baru tahu
themselves,
kursornya
but how about
kelihatan
you,
ya.
Victoria?
I ate lunch like a responsible person, so I'm not hungry. I feel a little sick, actually, personally, with this. But I have to say, Big Time and I were losing our minds throughout the course of this map. I think it says a lot about both of these teams. But Boom undeniably look so good.
I'm hungry for some more Boom gameplay. Let's go map 2. I don't need to break this down, but that was honestly
That's it.
very impressed by Boom that game. Have to say, I feel like when the round breaks down, they have so much discipline. The way they trade each other. I mean, this is an incredibly solid team from a macro perspective. I feel like this was an outclass, to be honest. If you ask me.
Oh, 100%. I've watched Boom so many games, and there's one thing I can rely on is that Boom won't play well in the mid to late round at times, or they'll throw rounds away, or not really communicate with each other well. I feel like you didn't see any of that. They looked legitimately like a world-class team in some of those rounds there on Pearl. Famous is insane on the operator. Like, he's the best opper in Pacific right now. If you look at the numbers, he's getting so many op kills. They're getting such great usage out of it. He's an absolute force to be reckoned with, both on defense and attack there, but I think overall what impresses me so much about Boom in that game is the discipline and the structure, the way they played those XVXs in the mid to late round on attack. They're playing off each other well. They have these contact setups. They're not over peaking at all. No one's getting nervous. No one's getting antsy. Boom are playing with discipline and confidence right now, and the way that some of those rounds are structured, I really want to know what's going on behind the curtain. I want to know, like, because Boom, they've been this core that's been together for such a long time, guys. And, you know, it feels like they're unlocking a new level, and they're fixing a lot of the issues, at least in some of these games, that have been holding them back for a long time.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, I feel like this is a different Boom, even from what we saw at Ascension, right? I don't think their style was at all like this at
They
Ascension.
were all over the place at Ascension. They would smash one game, they would get smashed one game, they would throw rounds all the time, but, you know, I mean, they should have even won the Ascension Grand Final. They had like a 5v3 on the A side of Bind. Like, that's the perfect Boom example round that lives rent-free in my mind.
This Boom don't lose that round, if you ask me. The way they're playing right now?
I don't think so. Totally agree.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, the main point here is that a lot of the squad has been together for a really long time, has been playing through Tier 2, has been playing in various tournaments, but we haven't been seeing it play at this level. And the question, of course, is what changed? We talked to Six Fingers about this. What do you bring here as the head coach? He didn't even want to be the head coach, but he's like one of those guys like forced into the leadership position, and those often make the greatest leaders. And a lot of things that he wanted to do was keep the fundamentals of what Boom was really good at, which is just damn good aim. And they're really raw, really fearless, but then cleaning a lot of that up, and we see that come through today. And we were talking about this in the green room, just how impressive they are, and they belong like amongst the greatest right now. If they continue at this level,
oh, for sure,
this Boom looks fantastic.
It's a deserved playoff spot. Famous with the op, unreal in this game, both on attack and defense, always in the perfect spot at the perfect time. Barely missed a shot, just disrupting the attack on defense and being a presence that you have to fear, and then being part of the overall attacking structure. He was fantastic to watch, but 𝘧𝘰𝘓 was great as well on the KO. He had like 5 opening kills as well, and his util was so on point. I mean, it's an agent that just got a buff, and he's using it bloody beautifully right now. You can even see it in the calling structure on attack. Like, there was one round where they went B late round, but you can see he's like flashing the opposing op off the line before they even complete the round. Like, he's really thinking about the macro of the game, especially with your IGL on the KO, can be really, really powerful.
Yeah, the thing I wanted to highlight from this game really was more with PRX, and when we look at PRX's composition, we see big ultimates. We see the Yoru ult, we see the Phoenix ult, Visal. They have a lot of potential to be able to win these rounds, and for me, this was the problem in the first half. They only managed 4 rounds when they have such powerful ults. If you're cycling them, you're using them well, you should be able to win these rounds. We see the Steel Garden, and they lose a body before they even get into the site. So this has to be aggravating for PRX. A comp like this, your ult rounds are the most important rounds. They need to convert those, especially if they're playing a similar style across these next 2 maps, because you cannot be wasting the value that these massive ultimates provide.
I mean, they had a hot start. It's Pearl attack side, guys, and they're not even playing one of these crazy, like, triple Senti comps that you're seeing on Pearl at the moment with the Astra or whatever. I mean, the opping presence of Famous was very difficult for them to deal with, make no mistake about it, but with the start they got, I mean, Jing got a bloody ace on the pistol. You're playing a snowball duelist agent like Phoenix. You should be just chaining those run-it-backs together, back to back to back, and start running away with the attack side, and they just didn't. I don't think they got enough value out of the double duelist. Patman, by the way, welcome to VCT Pacific. He had an insane round holding the A site, and I think he did perfectly fine on the fade. And once again, Forsaken just continues to be the best player in PRX, no matter what bloody Asian or role you put him in.
I'm really curious, speaking of Patman here, because we saw this happen with some of the other rookies that joined Pacific this year. A lot of the coaches have said, like Talon, for example, 𝘧𝘰𝘓 was really nervous the first map. This is Pat's first time on Pacific, first time out of the country. So this must be a massive first map for him. This could be a very
orang dia aja attack
I don't know, but the fact of
Dia
the
attack
matter
aja
is
AWP
that
loh.
this is a trend
Iya,
for a lot of
gila.
the teams. So
3 menit lagi
good
main.
performance nonetheless.
I mean, it's a very different environment, right? So it
Kenapa
does require
sekarang
different
ada
things. He's
wingman
quite
yang
lucky in
pegang
the sense
spike
that
ya
he has
sekarang
such
ya?
experienced players down
Bonekanya
there
Bib.
with him who
Emang
should be
pegang
able to
spike,
guide him
iya.
through, settle him down into map 2. But his
Kenapa
performance
punya
was
aku
good.
nggak ada ya?
I thought Patman was
Kayaknya
solid.
ya,
but
iya,
I
lepas
felt
deh.
like just as a team, they were not on the
Kamu
same
nggak
level as
kasih
Boom. I feel
aku.
like Boom were like, you know, it's a
Minumannya
liquid
nggak
squad,
ada.
they're one unit.
Iya, aku aja nggak
Paper
notice,
Rex,
sumpah.
I didn't quite get that vibe.
They legitimately,
bingung
at
kenapa ada
times, I felt like I
maksudnya,
was
tapi
watching
nggak
like a
ada.
structured EU team. Like I was watching a team that plays on the world-class level, and they were punishing mistakes. They were making really good
Soalnya
mid-round
itu aku
calls. They
belinya
had this
ngutang,
crazy opping presence.
dikasihnya
Like,
itu.
I thought I was watching a really
Belinya
structured,
ngutang.
really strong team. Which,
Iya.
you know,
Ngutang apa?
I'm used to a lot of holes in the gameplay for Boom,
Ngutang
but
nggak
they
ada
are
duit, tapi
legitimately
mau
playing
beli
their way
kamu.
into
Jadi dikasihnya nggak ada spike.
Nggak usah ngomong kayak gitu.
Absolutely. I think at this point, when we were talking about, okay, Boom's here, this is really exciting. Now at this point, it's like, oh, Boom could be in the finals.
Yeah, I was copium in the pre-show before. I was like, they only played 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠. They just changed players. Their last game, that map actually did kind of convince me a little bit.
A lot of things have changed with that. Now Ascent's going to be the next map, and this is Boom's pick. PRX, the last time we saw them play Ascent was, I believe, in the off-season, where we saw them play the meta, the old Ascent meta, for the very first time, and completely dominated and shocked everyone. Maybe disappointed some people were like, what, you were good with this meta the whole time?
I think it was off-season experimentation,
Ascent
and they were really
kalah sih
playing around
harusnya.
with the roles, because PRX for quite a long time has just been a little bit lost in terms of what they're doing. It's a map that historically they have not really played. They have been
Boom
Oh,
banning
dong
it.
yang
They've let
pilih.
it through in the veto and chosen to ban
Boom
Haven
yang milih.
instead. When Boom
Iya.
have had a really good opening game on Ascent against 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠. You can see it right
Crazy.
there.
Ayo,
Once
foto.
again, we'll have to start attack. Was not a problem for them against 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠. Although
Ah,
to be
TikTok
fair,
apa foto?
they did kind of bully suggest that game.
Foto dulu, foto
And
dulu.
I'm not, if Forsaken's on the Senti this time, I don't think you're going to be taking
Aduh.
advantage of him this series.
The thing I worry about for Boom with this
Beb,
map
aku
too is
ada
that
foto dulu,
their
disuruh
Ascent
foto.
isn't as
Ya udah,
flexible
foto.
as something like
Terus
the
suruh
default
bikin
comp is, right? When
velocity.
you swap out Phoenix
Kayak gini,
for,
Bib.
you know, you take Jet out, put Phoenix in, you have a lot less
Halo,
options. So I'm a little
Adrian.
bit worried that it could be readable. So PRX, this should be a kind of anti-stratable map, but we've seen PRX ban Ascent the last 2 weeks, so it clearly isn't a map that they love. I think they've left it in for a reason, so I think they'll have some kind of read, some kind of anti, but it's how good that is and how much Boom have been able to change since we saw it in week 1.
That does sum it up pretty nicely. We are in week 3 of stage 1, and we still don't know how this is gonna go. It's just, we haven't seen enough yet, but we're gonna find out a lot of answers today and how PRX does on a map like Ascent. Personally, I'm not sad to see the Haven go, especially with Patman coming in. Mindfreak is not playing the Haven, and it looks like there was a lot they need to rework on it anyway. So with Ascent, I don't know if it's gonna be too crazy from PRX. They've been doing a lot of crazy things, but
I mean, I would like them to still keep it kind of crazy. At the same time, though, we'll see what we're going to get. Like we've said, it's not a map that they're super comfortable with. They are going to get to start defense first. I mean, that's always a bit of a comfort zone for Ascent. At the end of the day, let's see what we're going to get agent comp-wise, especially from PRX. I don't think Boom have any reason to really change up what they were doing. It worked great against 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠. So for PRX, especially the roles, we've got to take a little bit of a look here. Jing back on the controller there. You're going to get Forsaken on the Fade. There's a lot of choices in terms of init, and they've chosen Fade KO with something back on Jet, and 𝘧𝘬𝘠's going to be on Senti. So they are just all over the place with roles right now. Let's see how it's going to work for them.
So we see Boom's sticking with that same comp, and I think if we talk about the Fade, I think the Fade is very strong in the mains. You can prowl, you have a lot more util in a sense to clear that kind of enclosed space with your prowlers. So I think they're going to try and take it to the Phoenix, who's trying to dominate those mains to control the orbs. This kind of seems like a deliberate anti-pick of a comp.
well, whoever it is you're cheering for today, I'm pretty sure all of us want a full series because we want to see more PRX versus Boom. We're going to send it back to our casters,
Gila, udah
Komodo and
100
𝘭𝑄.
map VCT Pacific total.
Thank you very much,
Crazy.
Victoria. Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those
bro.
where we want to see a lot more from PRX, not just in terms of the maps being played either, but it's just the fact that you lose this, and this severely hurts your chances at making it to playoffs.
Yeah, you'd be 0-3. If you lose this one in this map as well, you're losing your first series in a 0-2 fashion, and as Boom, you're winning your third series in a 2-0 fashion. I mean, I don't think those words were going to be
Abis ini aku
ever uttered
bikin
in my mouth.
velocity sama
It's been
stage.
Boom, 3-2-0 games. Ridiculous. But
Aku abis
for
ini bikin
PRX
velocity
here,
sama
we
stage.
do technically have something new to come out for them. It's back to the old, we're not playing
Kotaran
the
yuk.
comp, but it's also
Sama siapa
𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠,
aja?
I believe,
Kamu
making
sendiri.
his
Sama-
first appearance on
sama
the
Kus.
device.
Sama
Sama
bertiga.
And we'll see how
Ada.
that works For him at least.
Hah?
His,
Ada.
Astra on Pearl wasn't
Gila
too
guys, kalian
shabby,
kena spoiler.
but ultimately overall as a
Kena
team
spoiler.
needing to find so much more. And Boom's Phoenix comp working wonders against Gen.G just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, this looks like it might be a bit of a quicker one over towards the A site. 𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘦 down on the lurk with the mid creep up from PRX. So you wait out these Thorns and then you just call it go time.
Thorn setup does buy time, allows for something to find that pinch in through the smokes. Though, ooh, Petman, a little bit of a tricky spot, but at least his teammates are right around the corner to bail him out. Famous trying to stay alive, trying to do as much damage as possible. Holds out the curveball, and that's where something pounces. Able to pick up the pistol for PRX.
Alright, well, we're here big time talking about the Prowlers out through the lanes, but let's just forget about that, and let's just take some good old-fashioned gunfights together as a team, creeping up mid, and then back over towards the site where the team tries to go out a little bit earlier than the dark cover provides the vision blocking, and, well, you're just hitting your shots as PRX. Nicely done.
And that's the PRX that we would love to see. However, maybe not want to get it too much into their heads that they can just gun their way out of every situation. That at least appeared to be what they were trying to do back on Pearl. But right now, at least,
Wih, PRX pakai agent apa?
information play.
Ayo.
Area smoked off, sheer wall trip.
Pakai dua initiator.
Boom, happy to
Fate sama ini.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage something is going to be
Kena ikut nih.
Gila, mereka nggak main Sova loh, Bib.
Teammates with him as well.
Nabrak.
So far, Mr. Quack, so good. No plant able either.
Yeah, a little bit of a duck hunt, especially the Marshall in play, but still Famous able to fire back with that classic. Some damage being done to PRX's economy. Forsaken in with a ghost again, though. He had a quad from before. Can he find another one in this round? It's going to be Patman who does quite a bit of damage to Famous, but oh, he answers back still.
He has to use the
Anjir.
If he
Woi, ini satu hit ya?
get his HP back on
Iya,
Satu
satu
hit
hit.
Marshall.
Get into a good enough position to pop it off, though, at least.
Sama, dia
So
juga satu hit, kena badan aja mati
Boathouse is great.
apa?
45 seconds to play with.
Might be wondering where
Dua-duanya
the
satu hit.
spike is as well.
Yeah.
You'll know where the spike is, but the problem is the weapon.
He's holding on to that running.
Oh shit.
Line, yeah.
Ah.
Timing.
Oh,
Hampir
hampir.
banget, gila.
Mahal banget.
Mahal sih.
Mahal.
Mahal roundnya. Mereka beli
Mahal
sama.
banget
Imagine a
ini.
world in which he does technically use it to either
Siapa aja?
take a first shot out with the Marshall, and he collects with the shot. He then loses it in the trade, and then he's pistol pull out. He's able to then potentially win it. You know, individual confidence. I mean, you've got the 1 versus 3 where a lot of players might overheat and go quickly for the kill, but
2024 Famous
Oh,
done that.
gila,
settles himself.
gila.
Oh, exactly
Itu
right. Yeah.
kalau kalah,
It is 2025.
Oh iya.
Something operator in the 3rd round for this
Crazy.
bonus makes it not look like
Udah
PRX
operator loh.
an opening kill. Well, he's still spotted out 𝘧𝘧𝘦𝘭. 𝘺𝘰𝘀 down first though.
Support from Forsaken as well. They do have that sheer all up by B main, so that looks to be PRX's entire game plan. Push out on opposite lanes, have the Vice utility to block off the remaining ones. Off that instant pick, it's gonna be Prowler to confirm information right now.
I love this adjustment of the 𝘧𝘧𝘦 up through B, by the way.
Nice,
Unfortunate for
Jing.
𝘧𝘧𝘦 that he loses
Please
that
lah,
kill.
comeback
We
lah.
saw in the game against
Nice,
Gen.G how
Jing.
Boom wanted to just get up towards these choke points and kind of explode.
Sumpah, lihat guys
That
dia.
single 𝘧𝘧𝘦 kind of negates your
David
ability
nih.
to do that in the surprising
Nice baby
fashion.
Jing.
Yeah, big time.
Nggak ada babynya ya.
You know, this was PRX's sort of a perma-ban from the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Intentionally leaving it open.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you're going to leave this map open, you're going to expect Boom to pick it, which means that you
Probably
would
have something
expect
prepared.
a lot of antis prepared and a lot of strats they're going to exploit
Wah,
Boom's
safe.
current agent lineup.
40 detik nih save, ngapain, ngomong apa nih?
What we are witnessing. 30 seconds left on the clock for Boom to save every single weapon.
30 seconds left.
Taking a look at the positions as well, though, for PRX. Patman
Going on a hunt.
might be able to snuff out a light. Spots on 𝘧𝘧𝘦𝘭 does get taken away, and the rest of the team looking to hold on to their weapons given their current credits as well.
Yep. And I mean, this is a bonus round, remember? It ain't looking like the bonus for PRX. 1 Guardian, and the rest, you know, they're going to be able to
The
operate at
glasses.
takeover, Vandals and stuff. They've built up their economies, so PRX have put themselves in a really good position here on the back of
Yeah.
this bonus.
So incredibly well played and well prepared by PRX. We'll see if they continue to bring that consistency to the rest of the rounds.
Consistency.
Yeah, big emphasis on mid control at the moment for PRX, right? If they are feeling sharper at the moment and they want to individually take the duels, certainly can't.
Sumpah kenapa muka Jung tuh kayak udah kena mental gitu, kayak kasihan gitu loh lihat.
Something peeking down, catwalk, yeah, Forsaken coming out from bot mid.
Bayangin
Nanti nggak dipanggil 𝘭𝘩𝘰𝘠 lagi.
Ih, udahlah, nggak usah kayak gitu. Kamu cemburu ta, jealous ta.
Oi, udah nggak ada smoker, bye bye, run end.
How difficult does Ascent become when you don't have smokes available?
Ya kalau diculik-culik kayak gini sih, gameplaynya mau gimana pun udah pasti kalah anjir.
This round is now very disconnected for Boom, and that's 𝘧𝘳𝘃, one of the clutch kings of Pacific now.
Had a really good game last week, but right now with PRX answering with force.
Makanya jangan pakai Phantom. Hahaha.
𝘭𝘩𝘰𝘠. Apaan sih Rama? 𝘭𝘩𝘰𝘠 anjir.
PRX, we've seen them kind of blunder before, you know. At least, yeah, something is able to watch the right line. Look at this little jiggle coming out from 𝘧𝘳𝘠. Something fires back, re-peeks. Updrafts away, 𝘴𝘶𝘱𝘱 still finding an attack. Special delivery at something's feet, but who's on the other side of that clock twist? It's 𝘺𝘃.
Too narrow focus
Special
on
delivery
on towards something where you've got the trade potential to come on out. Always going to respect the idea in that one, but the 4-0 start from PRX now. We need to see a little bit more early gameplay from Boom go their way. We've seen a lot of aggression from PRX, but not, you know, kind of disrespectful aggression as well, right? They're setting themselves up nicely with Patman assisting with the KO utility, Forsaken as well, playing his own duels on these lines, and if he needs to, he can Growler, he can Haunt. Timeout from Boom here. Actually getting contested a lot more in this map than the likes of what 𝘧𝘰 was giving them.
Gotta love that comms are flowing for PRX as well. I mean, something continues to find picks like these, you know, looking to contend against the likes of Buzz, Texture, and famous for, you know, top op kills.
I mean, you got to think as well, if something is going to continue to get on these aggressive lines, right, what adjustments does Boom do to try and get advantage in those lanes? Well, yeah, you can play on the back of some flashes, you can try and drone them out, you've got 2 drones available on these initiators, you can try and you can molly them out with the salvos. There's options, don't get me wrong, but that's not all that we're seeing, right? We're not just seeing the operator go in from something, find the kill on the rounds done, right? Everybody on PRX is still maneuvering around the map nicely, putting right utilities down at the moment, adjusting their setups around the map as well. A different look towards how this A site now is going to be defended by 𝘺𝘰𝘃.
Meanwhile, PRX still looking to possibly abuse this mid control. Alt's starting to cycle now.
Well, you know that 𝘧𝘳𝘀's top mid with that 𝘺𝘰.
Biasanya habis nonton VCT aku langsung gacor guys, main kompe guys.
Around that dark cover.
Is this expected though? Crack that from jump spot. You don't know that Forsaken's tucked in either.
All right. But Boom, you know, having felt that much presence and danger from mid before, they're not going to challenge that currently.
Forsaken has found the optimal timing in this round to absolutely destroy what Boom are trying to set up. And yes, I know it's a bit of a savvy eco, but this could be huge for padding stats.
Does 𝘺𝘃 turn around? Not quite.
𝘺𝘃 dead first again.
Dink sees Prowler, Forsaken looking to parkour his way in towards a multi-kill. It's going to be a double at least. Maybe a bit of a weapon-handed over onto Boom, but Famous now looking to create more pressure onto the site. The blaze wall, the flashes, but something answers. Shorty in hand, repositions to a closer angle. Meanwhile, across the map,
𝘧𝘳𝘃 has lurked. If this was, you know, a more impactful round where you could potentially, you know, find the winning timing, yeah, amazing. You can't really do anything now that you've been spotted out by Patman, except dispatch of him, but you could not find any space for 𝑁𝐶_𝘱𝘱 here.
Fair enough, just to build more points towards that ult, but PRX locking down these angles and sight lines, finding
ya, sekarang Boom
their
0.
5th in this scoreline.
Yeah, and on the back of the timeout, not converting either for Boom, but you would assume it was more of a conversation for this round, the next gun round. Now you want to try and pivot and find an advantage, because really at the moment it's Boom, right? We're not seeing them be able to get into these advantage positions. They're losing in these opening fights, they're losing space around the map.
Meanwhile, this is the PRX that everyone has been wanting to see. Can they keep it up still? Boom now in with the ultimates, looking to possibly just explode. Not even the quiet creep up.
Yeah, but look who's on the line. It's something. He's already found one kill.
Nyangkut.
At least there's a trade, I will admit, but some rotations and some settling down.
Yes.
𝘧𝘬𝘦 is at the B site.
Anjir, si something
Plotted down,
nyangkut.
divide to anchor. Forsaken to check as well. The 0 point will call it clear. Well, that was an across the map 0 point from Padman,
Ngawif banget
who
si
holds down the line up around
Shiro.
tree. So Cat is being blocked off now. Does
Nggak
Boom
ready
come
sih
back
itu.
into challenge?
Big duel for the newcomer to ПRX to win there, and he wants more.
Underhand toss, he tops in. Jing with the additional support. That is very lovely coming
Very
out from 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸. Well
lovely.
called. The spike down on the ground.
Very-
𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘦 trying to do some
Nah,
damage,
itu
but
dia.
Jing not letting him through.
Itu dia loh.
Yeah, it's like
Ini
we were seeing
aloh,
from Jing
baby
when he brought out the
Jing.
Brimstone, right? Sometimes if you've got no smokes available, just have your gun up and get ready in all your
Ready.
experience and timing and where you think in that certain position 𝘧𝘬𝘦 might be coming out from. They don't necessarily need to complicate things. I like the mid-round call from, well, maybe I would expect Patman to bring his teammate with him to re-aggress up through catwalk, because we're not seeing initiative from Boom in that situation, right? They have players down, they're still creeping up. There's a really good grasp on this defensive side at the moment for 𝘴𝘩𝘦, and Quack, every single round they're changing up how they're playing the early round of these defenses as well, and it hurts
Ayo,
Boom because they're not
penang,
investing
guys.
these drones really early on, or they're forced to invest all this early utility, and 𝘴𝘩𝘦 are going to be extremely happy if that happens. They don't have to contend with it for the eventual site hit.
You do kind of want to watch for 𝘴𝘩𝘦 if they begin to overcook a little bit, though. They did leave B a little bit open, but happy to refill back in. Now continuing to hold off mid in case anyone crosses. It's
Gigis ini,
something.
culik terus.
Double found. Continuing to hold the angle again. Forsaken to re-peek back
Kenapa
towards B main.
si
Confirms Boom's
Shiro nggak
positioning.
threadnya lebih cepat ya?
Smoked off once again.
Buta.
Fragment at his feet.
Ah,
Shot
Shiro
through
juga
the
buta
smoke.
emangnya.
Iya.
Kan yang
NC
buta
Slasher.
berserk.
Trying to play,
Comeback kali nih
stay
𝘴𝘩𝘦 di
alive,
game
close to the
ini
spike.
ya. Makanya
Flashed
nggak tahu nih.
and flushed over to the other position. Now slicing the angle. Patman finds him.
Aigo,
The stray bullet
aigo,
catching his
udah
helmet.
07
It's going to be
guys.
𝘴𝘩𝘦 with 7 straight rounds in a row.
Yeah, this is the winningest that we've seen from 𝘴𝘩𝘦 so far, I will admit.
kan
They've
menurut aku
really got a
21
great
guys.
idea, and again, it's on the back of something just dancing around on this duelist. Wasn't, really able to do it too much over on
Bisa
Pearl, I
apaan
will
tuh?
admit, in the early stages
Apa?
especially, but here, he's got the operator in his hand, and we're not seeing a way in which the
Menurutku
Boom are trying to
21.
off-put that. He's just getting really
Duanya
tetap
hungry
ya?
for these duels. What was I saying
Kalau
last time
menurutku ya.
we got to cast 𝘴𝘩𝘦? I was kind of like, I'm waiting to see Patman on this KO, because when I watch him, I think that it's his best agent in his position and all of his assistants. And while, he doesn't have too many assists here, it's 4, the timing and the impact that he's finding for this team at the moment, really well done.
Reading the positions as well. I mean, he has been playing these initiators throughout his entire career. Now, the shots through in the fragment as well. Just buys time, blocks off the lanes.
Ulti dong.
Triangle being sent as well from
Pintar.
Forsaken, but still Boom looking to push and punish their way through. Not quite happening. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 watching the flank this
Anjir,
time.
07 ya.
Okay,
Oh,
but
itu nggak ada
Boom is
yang
able
res
to
apa?
answer. That's a Phantom picked up. Spike down as well. A possible round for Boom in our midst.
Oh, spotted. Needs assistance though, he's the only one here.
Jing is alone as well. Something to hold the angles, but ooh! Shoulder spotted. Not quite the angle to hold. It's all down to Jing as he spins around on a swivel looking for the
Oh,
frags, but
nice.
𝘧𝘬𝘦 able to snuff out
Finally
that light.
1
Yeah,
guys.
finally Boom are going to get
Poinnya.
on the board. A little bit of awkward timing from 𝘴𝘩𝘦 when he rips out that run it back, and he gets
Poinnya.
instantly
Bib,
shut
kamu
down
lihat
from
WA
Patman,
dulu, Bib.
who, in amongst the Hunter's Fury coming his way, tried to survive by dropping the null command into it and just wasn't able to. Wrong timing before it became activated. I like the crunch idea from 𝘴𝘩𝘦 as well. Just a couple of these angles, though, finally going Boom's way. I did get nervous, though, at the end there. This 1 versus 3. Jing had 3 individual one-on-ones he could have isolated, but just not able to do it there. So,
Bisa dijum nggak?
the light
Kelihatan
for
nggak?
Boom is that they're
Nggak
on the
bisa.
board, and 𝘧𝘦𝘦, oh, you are lucky that you were able to escape that one, because something was ready to take that fight.
Very
Apa itu,
close
nggak
to
tahu.
it. Now with that, he's able to lock down this
Kelihatan ya kalau
info
dijum.
line.
Ya kamu lihat lah
Across A main,
story-nya.
meanwhile Boom looking to
Mouse.
continue with their assault in towards
Aneh,
short. Locked off
akhirnya.
by Patman with that fragment.
He's just being such a deterrent, though, here, isn't he?
Still though, Both teams looking to push on every lane. Now back in towards mid. The sheer wall tripped. 𝘴𝘠𝘰𝘸 just making noise, making his presence known.
He tried to get some information spotting on top of it if anyone was close towards mid.
Does have to be careful though, because if Boom susses out that he is alone, they might be able to find that opportunity into the B side. Instead, Boom looking to collapse in towards A.
And you have to know that A main is dirty territory. You have to know that something has been pushing here every so often. You've got to watch for it, and they kind of do with Famous taking that position, but he loses his life. So 4-4, now looking for the post plan.
At least numbers found.
Bacot
Divide
banget
as well here,
sumpah.
Quack run away with 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭.
Boom just looking to keep themselves dug deep into the site. Something still back into the sight lines. Boom cannot give up their current position. Meanwhile, the rest of the PRX B squad, they have to break through the door. Divide finds the first, but 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘬 answers back. Now hopping off through, 𝘴𝘂𝘂𝑚 will be able to find a collapsing shot. 𝘧𝘬𝘂𝘬𝘭 answers back as well, but in with the shorty. It's going to be Jin who finds the double to clean up the round for PRX.
All of the trades coming through in favor of PRX as well. You know, I see 𝘧𝘬𝘂𝘂𝘬 get the kill, but he was immediately traded out by 𝘧𝘬𝘂𝘂𝘬𝘭. And the name of the game there is the fact that Famous loses his life towards something, and you've always got it in the front of your mind that something can just peek out through main and just completely win out this round from there. So a bit unfortunate for Boom, but I think more importantly, just very aware for the likes of PRX.
Manggil diri sendiri
The
dah.
initiative is
Kamu.
get these kills.
Oh, kira manggil diri sendiri.
You know, an option for something to peek out through main if needed.
Nice.
That's a bit of a rare sight these days. Alex celebrating in the coach's room.
He's got someone he can high five now.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Camaraderie.
But hey, Boom looking to answer back as well. They found some rounds off the back of thrifties or half buys, but with the rounds that PRX has had so far, something just reinvest into another op.
In amongst the site, in front of the sheer by yourself.
Looking to explode again. Where has Jing teleported to though? Not quite found just yet, and that's going to be the off angle exploited for 𝘧𝘬𝘂𝘂𝘂𝘂 answer back.
Kalau nggak minimal dapat 2 sih itu.
Trying to find something close range with the shorty. Meanwhile, the rest of the team looking to waterfall off. It's the Odin spam from 𝘴𝘂𝘂𝘂𝘂. The double found Patman dropping down as well. 𝘧𝘂𝘦 now to hold inside of Hell. Can he drag them down with him? The spike not planted. And he's pretty much pinned down. Something looking for the shorty kill, and 𝘧𝘂𝘦 knows it.
Ngapain coba something?
Close range op shot.
Sumpah, kamu mau bilang ngapain tapi something kill pakai op. No scope lagi.
From the shadows and is maybe able to get out to get himself some time, but the spike would have been in a very untenable situation. Unfortunate, but in the beginning as well, right? Famous getting in front of that sheer. The rest of his team is not able to get in to help him at that point in time, unfortunately. He has to try and cook for himself around there where he does find that first kill, but again, it's just the trade game.
Gila banget loh.
That's unfortunate.
Gila.
It's really the trade game at the moment that's coming out from PRX. They're ahead of it.
AWP-nya something sama Famous nyala nih.
Really keeping Boom guessing with every single round being different to the positions.
Si Angelin Bib chat di grup main fake gak main, dia kayak tulis heartbroken.
Finding info lines, they're happy to retake, they're happy to go for these fights.
They're in the flow state.
Boom looking to explode right back though.
Sini
They've had a
tulis
bit of success into the A site, now looking to create some of it on towards B, especially with this run it back, but now slowed down by that Seize
Punya Batman.
alongside Patman. Both initiators around the site. Odin spammed through as well, but nothing found just yet.
Steel Garden can actually be pretty impactful for 𝘧𝘂𝘂𝘂𝘂 here.
He is in position, and he pops it off. Spike still down though, and with that Steel Garden in play, primary's jammed up. PRX looking to push through. However, Boathouse not quite affected by it. 𝘧𝘬𝘂𝘂𝘂 will be able to hold it off. Still though. Now Patman trying
Ada next nggak mau dipakai tuh Patman.
spotted out by 𝘧𝘂𝘂𝘂𝘂. PRX's numbers starting to fall down now.
Ada knife nggak mau dipakai loh Patman.
Looks to try to save that op. Does manage to get away, and that will be another round for Boom picked up.
He's going to skedaddle on out of there to save that gun because the money is still a bit of a fickle thing for PRX here. But for Boom, that's another round on the board on this attacking side. Some nice repositioning from Famous as well, who once again can't really find anything with the run it back. He didn't immediately die, but he got seized pretty much straight away getting in towards the site. So the only thing he was able to achieve was shutting the market door, where one of his teammates was seen and tickled down a little bit, right? Grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter because Boom managed to get on the board. But the best thing that they can hope for at the tail end of this half, I mean,
kalau
it's
dulu
going to be the
nonton lebih
9-3,
ke
right?
ini kan Bib nembak badan.
That's definitely what PRX has for them at least, but still we'll see if Boom will indeed turn this
Jago
into a
bergerak dari dulu
3.
mah.
𝘧𝘳𝘠 with
Jago,
Yoda
aku
now.
nggak bilang nggak jago.
And
Maksudnya
PRX for the
nembaknya
first
jago,
time in
malah
a
dulu
long
lebih
while,
jago.
not quite pushing out aggressively.
Yeah. We have 𝘧𝘬𝘠 with the stinger, of course, an operator to be heard for something who can challenge around this site. The flash got to work.
Apaan itu?
Goes in for the swing. Something, bit of a whiff as well. Now spots out Famous, but look at the movements!
Oh,
Just sachets himself into the site. PRX, the rest of them looking to arrive on the scene. Patman alongside Forsaken, trying to spam their way through. The hunt sent out as well. No, it's a seize. So
Kalau
the
di
tethers
Jawa,
review
Patman itu
positions, and
setelah Lumen
Patman!
dah.
Oh,
I am
Patman, lihat nggak?
sent in on the end
Aduh, nggak
there
lihat lagi
to
aku
clean
gara-gara
up the
bahas
crew of
Angel.
Boom, and it's done
Katanya si
nicely.
Aaron lebih ganteng duduk di sebelah ini.
Not enabling Boom
Sebelah
to establish any
Coach
stability
Alex.
in the round, any stability
Tough.
at all. That horn absolutely immaculate to come on through from Forsaken, and then I mean,
Nih, aku lihat clipnya ini.
it's not understated to say
Kill
that
4 ya?
Batman just coming up very,
Yeah.
very crispy looking on this
Gila.
map.
He's got his patarangs.
He's what?
Half
I'll let
time.
myself out.
Batman, yeah, okay.
There we go.
No. Doors that way.
Thank you.
2-10 makes it very difficult for Boom here if they're not able to pick up the pistol round to start off the affairs, which, to be fair, they've been pretty successful in pistols so far. That is,
Batman siapa?
they've lost the first
Siapanya
one on this
Batman,
map, they
Bel?
lost the first
Temennya.
one on the first map as well. They got the second, and a couple of the
Temennya,
previous
guys.
series, they're pretty proficient as well.
At least looking to make this a quick map so far.
Ih, lucu banget sih Bib. Wingman
Still
yang
have a third
megang
one
spike
left,
tuh
man.
kayak lebih lucu.
Fracture if we get there.
Don't want to get too ahead of myself though, at least.
Yeah, question mark for me, not gonna lie. I mean, that's the one where Boom had the choice of Lotus instead. Of course, we'll get to hear a little bit more from the desk if we do get there in terms of the third map, because we are still in the second. We've still got space to see if Boom are going to be able to kind of bring some stuff back for us.
But at least so far, this series has been absolutely delivering on both ends as well. Boom, from the first map of Pearl, we're looking to disrupt PRX's attacks. This time, PRX disrupting Boom's attacks. We'll see how it all fares out on towards PRX's attack on their
Kedengaran
own.
suara petir
Just not
nggak?
giving
Dari
Boom the
ini.
light of day in the early stage to creep on up to the
Apa?
choke points and then explode on
Kedengaran suara
outright.
petir gak?
Enggak.
Watch out for at least now 𝘧𝘬𝘠 happy to collect on some information. Reinforcements have arrived, but everything has been smoked off.
Oh!
Look at something
Oh,
dive
kaget tuh
straight
Famous.
in towards Famous. The dive bomb exploding away happily. 𝘧𝘬𝘠
Kok
in
deh
with the shock
kah ke
dart
Bang
as
David
well.
itu
Tries to track his
Enggak,
head
udah
across, but
dibeliin
something
guys yang Wingman.
continues to flick.
Yeah.
Kalau aku
Looks
ke
for
Korea
the
aku beli
quad.
sendiri lah, gila.
Shut down right now.
Ngapain udah ada, ngapain beli lagi?
Tuh, nggak dibolehin.
The spike will happily go
Beli
down
spike-nya
as
aja
well.
bisa nggak?
Not much in terms of utility
Nggak
for
bisa lah.
Boom. Just paranoia as well as a dark cover. Market being blocked up as well.
Aduh.
Not much
Aduh,
can be
udahlah
done.
Bib map
And
ketiga
/for a
ini.
bit of a trade. That should pretty much be it.
Kalau halftime coachnya
𝘧𝘬𝘠
boleh
still
ngobrol
trying to
gak
find
Bel?
as much as he
Boleh
can
nggak,
though,
Bib,
but
ke
the
halftime?
Vibe
Boleh.
will have
Boleh.
to tap away.
Halftime
Pistols
boleh
for
guys.
PRX,
Itu
angry
halftime breaknya
something
itu
to start
boleh.
off as well. You know, your old
𝘧𝘬𝘠
classic,
come
if
to
you want to take some
PRX.
market control. When KO was, you know, kind of first introduced, we did see it a good
Kalau
idea
David
to get
pindah
some blades
PRX,
or
aku
try to get some
pindah
flashes and
jadi
some volleys in towards
bocil
market and
PRX
send your
lagi,
teammate
guys.
in, change things up as well. Nice
Pokoknya
self-sufficient play to come
kemanapun
out with
David,
something to
aku
just
jadi
dash himself into
bocil
his own
tim
smoke
itu
and go
dah
for
pokoknya.
challenges. You know, you're kind of looking towards PRX to really just catch Boom off guard here. In that round, you're going to force Boom up. They need a leg to stand on. Got to go toe-to-toe somehow. Try to upgrade some weapons. Get absolutely overrun on this A site.
Especially with
saw
all
it.
that utility. Needing to respect the space that is being claimed by 𝘧𝘠𝘠𝑥. Fragment now just to allow them to shut down that door in Boom's faces. Oh, look at that, still spamming through.
Something for the opener once more.
Looking like shades of his old self. Still back in the site. Knowing that the door is broken, they're looking to re-peek back into it. Look at the dive in, but Famous, okay. Strays away with that stinger shot. Now 𝘧𝘬𝘀 back in. 𝘴𝘶𝘱𝘱𝘰𝘳 answering back as well. Now just down to Jing. Tries to reposition into the smoke, but is that going to be enough? The stinger sprays not quite favoring him. Favoring
Ya udah,
Famous
welcome to T1 biar T1 game versi 2. Yang versi 1 ini ya perkedel ya.
I mean, something about the Stingers doing
T2 aja.
Apa?
Kalau
kita T2.
Iya, kita T2 berarti. Tapi di divisi hierarki yang lain cowoknya udah pindah tim, ceweknya udah terlanjur cinta jadi kingdom aja Bel. Oh iya. Yaudah, kalau misalnya doang ya nih ya, we're speaking, kalau misalnya David pindah tim ya udah, RRQ tetap di hati, tapi enggak, aku tetap dukung timnya David lah for sure
there
anjir.
was, you know, a 10-2 comeback for one of the teams in the other regions.
Yeah, if you went to bed at the 10-0
Nah, anaknya nih dukungnya pacarnya gitu.
So not impossible for Boom.
I was one of those that went to bed at the 10-0.
Greget.
I mean, how could you not? But still, you know, we are in Pacific after all time zones. You know, it is what it is. But Boom happy to find as much as possible. Holding B main down back towards catwalk as well. The drone coming out.
Aku taruh sini ya guys.
Nothing spotted.
Sabar, aku ambil.
So just Famous to listen for those pistols clanking through. He flashes and he's looking for kills because 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘴𝘂 is right up around the back. He's got the blazes to heal himself off as well.
They played anti for that flash. They expected it, but trades available for Boom. And now Jing. Damage. Just some cheeky damage here. Not going to be able to find it. Famous will have the run it back going in towards the next round where we're going to get a look onto 𝘴𝘂𝑟X's attacking side when they've got the weaponry, they've got the 𝘭𝘪𝘬𝘀𝘬 available.
Oh, kalau yang emang ini nggak bawa spike, Beb, dia bawa minuman.
Iya, minuman aku nggak ada masalahnya. Tuh, ada magnetnya nih. Tapi minumannya nggak ada, guys.
Ya,
dia nggak haus.
Tapi dia juga tetap kingdom. Oh, gitu.
Orang dia nggak haus, betul lah.
Dari mana kamu tahu dia nggak haus?
𝘴𝘂𝑟X, they're really feeling how they're playing this map and what Boom's weaknesses are currently. The slower pace game that they had on that attacking side, but they are pulling out a play of 𝘴𝘂𝑟X's, going for the early control.
Taruh sini kelihatan nggak?
But they've got assistance to gain some win control over at A, so the rest of the team to look back at the deeper sides of spawn and B.
Diketek kamu aja dia biar pingsan.
A single player from 𝘴𝘂𝑟X invested in towards this possible A main
Tapi by the
position.
way itu gue cuma ngasih tahu aja Bel, serius gak maksud nahan biar tetap jadi kingdom kalau misal Bang David. Gak lah, aman. Kan kita kalau belum terjadi nggak tahu ya.
It's been 30 seconds and Boom has spent quite a bit just to find information all across the map. Nothing found towards B and now finding a little bit more towards A. And 𝘴𝘂𝑟X continue to rotate everywhere. Back
Tapi Bang
possibly
David jangan
in
pindah
towards
dulu ya.
market. 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘀𝘀 is holding the
Ya
angle
enggak
though.
lah, nggak pindah,
Finds the
orang
burst.
kontraknya masih ada.
Continues to burst his way through. Down to 9 HP. Hit by the paranoia now. But Jing looks towards the back. Oh, that has possibly got to be the worst thing to happen right now, and that's just a 𝘧𝘬𝘀 left. Might be able to get his way into the site, but you're 1 against 5, buddy.
But let me tell you the story, Quack. When 𝘴𝘂𝑟X were looking for map point against Boom, and 𝘴𝘂 got the plant and was caught with his knife out, and 𝘧𝘬𝘀 took him down. The end. The end. No, not the end here. Boom, though, a flawless round to find against 𝘴𝘂𝑟X's first gun round here, where Famous commands a lot of space over at A. I'm thinking that there is a heavy investment of utility, as you were talking about, right? Salvo's deep mid, shock darts used early in towards tree, a dark cover, a blaze as well, really trying to navigate them down in through towards mid, where there is a bit of a crossfire here, right? 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘀𝘀 and 𝘴𝘂 very aware, dodging a lot of the utility as well. The fact that the flash comes a little bit late from Patman and the paranoia doesn't take 𝘴𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀 there. You know, a couple of differences, right, that could have completely turned around on its head.
Gak tahu, David beliin ventilasinya wingman doang, minumannya nggak ada.
Doing just that.
Bersyukur dong.
Eat a lot of it as well. Famous still
Ih,
sitting
kan
on that
ditanya
run
itu
back.
minumnya dicuri
𝘴𝘂𝑟X this time
siapa.
on a bit of a half buy.
Aku bukan nggak
Something does
bersyukur
have the blades,
dasar
though.
kamu nih.
𝘧𝘬𝘭𝘰𝘸 going to keep some respect over at B main as well for them, so they don't have to really worry about that. I wouldn't mind the idea if Boom want to get a little bit proactive to try and contest into it, but you've got 𝘧𝘬𝘭 looking after it. It is the lesser equipped round from PRX too, right? But 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎's is pushed very far up.
Something that is completely unexpected for PRX, and 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎's goes on a tear.
Okay.
Flashes back in just to check even more as well. The spike has been picked up.
Now he can settle.
And he's just happy to sit onto it.
5 versus 2. These are the sort of rounds for Boom that you just need confidence to win it cleanly from here. You don't want to see anyone overheat.
Haven't quite done too much of that, especially not from the previous map either. Boom looking to be a very controlled version of themselves. Something though, Blades will whiz right by.
Yep. Now the dart has to be dodged from 𝘧𝘬𝘭, who is once again in a 1 versus 5.
30 seconds left.
What's the story this time?
Oh, he gets one. I didn't see that.
He's gonna find more kills, right?
Nah, probably not.
Straying back in, looking for more.
What?
He does.
No way! Oh, bro. I'm talking. It's looking to be a flawless round from Boom. The turret that spots out a player in B main, where something cloud bursted off. You've got an immediate special delivery from 𝑁𝐶/𝘧𝘬𝘭. I'm trying to give credit to all of these quick utilities to come out after 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎 starts off the round, and then you're running into 𝘧𝘬𝘭 with a 𝘺𝘭 old classic boy. And he just comes out with that. He's on 4 HP, and he gets him out with the stick. Like, man,
a 𝘺𝘭 old classic.
𝘺𝘭 old classic boy. Hey, our Ascension teams will get their classics soon, all right? Maybe that would be the buff that Boom won.
Very much so. You got to keep your eyes open for that Boom bundle. But yeah, you know, still around for Boom nonetheless. But I gotta love it when Komodo absolutely
these are the moments.
his mind.
These are the moments that, if you're watching this game, can infuriate you a little bit, because they shouldn't happen.
Oh, I've already I was already infuriated by yesterday's Japanese games, but hey,
yeah.
We're back into it. PRX, you know, they lost off of a bit of a half buy against Boom in that previous map in the last round. So
thrifty to end it. I mean,
now we're back into this where maybe starting to go off the flop side again. It's currently Boom with 4 straight rounds in a row.
It's not the 7 that PRX started off with, but with PRX getting the pistol and the fact that Boom forced up, they get the second round, they start to build a little bit of character on this defense side of their own. Yeah, maybe there is a world. 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎 has the operator in play. He's going to run it back as well. He's currently on 22 kills. I mean, he's putting up numbers. 𝘧𝘦𝘦, though, again, he's feeling a little bit absent today.
He's for now just providing value with the utility for the team. He's a controller after all. 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎 finding his off back in against PRX. That's a double!
He's healed though, 30 HP. At least it is an operator, so he can go for another challenge where PRX want to go quickly now into this side.
Okay.
Iya,
steps
Phoenix
past the door. Forsaken B hops in, gets the door down.
You could use 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎's on this runner back as a glorified drone.
That's exactly what he's looking to do alongside the rest of the team as well. But sort of a drone, he finds a kill with Frenzy. Op shots fired back in. They know exactly where 𝘧𝘬𝘭 is. 𝘧𝘬𝘭 looks to survive inside of Hell. Smokes out, looks to peek through. Does find the first.
Menang nih.
But the shorty
makes
quick work of 𝘧𝘬𝘭, and Boom will be going on with another win. That's 5 in a row now.
Tried to have some options with the dark cover to dance around a little bit, didn't he? Here's the reload
Gila
of the shorty.
sih, Fikri sih
You're
gila banget sih.
You want to go for that pick, but then 𝘧𝘦𝘦 maybe just needed to hear me get mad at him, call him out, I don't know. Great start for Boom. Again, on this operator from 𝘴𝑒𝑚𝑎's, it feels like he's got the magic touch at the moment when that gun is in his hand.
But I do want to question this, Komodo. Maybe if I can pose it to you.
Go for it.
PRX's attack looking a little bit lackadaisical. We saw that on Pearl. They continue to try to bully their way into sites. They're trying to... It appears like they're doing that again on towards Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, like, we know PRX are proficient on attack. Seen it on Fracture, for example. We also know, like, a map like Lotus, for example, Boom are pretty good on attack too, right? So coming in towards Ascent right now, where they're also looking pretty hot for this comeback, they're putting up their defenses. 𝘭𝑒𝑚𝑎 starting us off with 2.
Op still continuing to sing as well. PRX, at some point, you gotta find other solutions.
How do you get Patman up? Yamoli.
He can't.
Oh, it goes a bit deep, and now it's done. 5 versus 3.
Anjir,
2-player
darahnya
advantage
si
for Boom. An exit if they need. 2 ultimates that they can invest here. A lockdown, an Armageddon, but at this point in time, Quack, there's a minute
Dia sih
that you're
kakinya
gonna let
lecet dikit
PaperX
aja udah
just
mati
simmer
anjir.
in the fact that this round might be unachievable. It might be the 6th round in a row for Boom.
I feel like it would be.
Yeah.
PaperX looking to save right now.
Now you
Definitely needing the time to simmer and to discuss things over.
Shift into podcast mode for a minute, you know. The fact is, though, in these sort of situations,
comeback
PaperX,
sih.
as long as they're protecting
Gila
their
sih.
guns, they can use this as a bit of a talk time for the
Gila
team,
sih.
right? And most importantly,
Muka kamu
how
kok
are
senang
they going
banget.
to get this next round on the board?
Kuat soalnya Ascent
Device
nyambung
got a
nih.
steel garden. You could pop that for a bit of an explosion for something to get in towards the site and maybe gain a bit of an advantage duel.
Kayaknya emang mereka
Possibly
kuatnya
for
di
the next
defend
round,
deh,
and that's
Bib.
going to be this round's episode of
Iya.
Flex Chat.
Tuh.
Welcome.
Oh, we missed it. DRX, PRX, our first one.
Tinggal
That's
3
when that
HP
would come.
gila.
Still though, definitely needing to find some answer to possibly the early round aggression coming out from Boom or the op. And it has
Kalah
Famous
force bay langsung.
currently sitting on top of 25 kills. I mean, he was putting up huge numbers in that first half,
Yeah.
even though Boom was still
Sumpah kenapa muka Jing
you
kayak
know,
mau nangis gitu ya?
shaking a little bit on their attack.
Certainly having a map for him, that's for sure. You know, we get a lot of these teams in our region that sometimes you've got players that are very consistent in the mid-range. You've got players that just have these
Muka Alex sih udah ngamuk
brilliant
banget.
maps. You know, Famous is having one of those ones at the moment.
Muka Alex udah kayak
This time positioned in a safer position off of the timeout, possibly anticipating some kind of a burst coming out from PaperX. PaperX, though, slowing things down a little bit.
I think on the duelist role at the moment. Famous trying to do his best 𝘧𝘬𝘧𝘦 impression, leading by example. Different agents and such, but they did go against each other previously, remember, and 𝘧𝘬𝘧𝘦 dropped 28 kills, so see if Famous is going to be able to put up those numbers.
At least currently still on the A side, so PaperX trying to cut noise, looking for that explosion into the B side.
Cheeky.
Oh, it's going to be an Odin,
Yeah, it's not going to reach its mark though.
especially with the map changes currently, but
There you
the
go.
Armageddon will hit its
Really,
mark.
really nicely done. Steel Garden is going to essentially be countered by the Armageddon. You've got the lockdown if you need.
Oh.
Time to be bought by those salvos. The sheer,
Wah.
I mean, yeah,
Fine,
Dubai has
okay.
a leader for the flank, of course, but 40 seconds, a lot of this input utility is
Anjir.
gone. But Patman finds NC Slasher out in the
Kakak
open.
with a
mati
Spectre.
kenapa dah?
Shiro, though, digs himself deep.
Lah!
Spray through with the
Ah!
Odin, not quite finding its mark. It's going to be
Yeah.
Berserk's now through the other end. But still, Forsaken continues to push through. Famous now looking to find a pick
Puff
off.
Coach PRX
Do you
ya
want to go for
ampun
this?
tim
There is
apa
Vandal
ini?
on the floor.
And possibly going to pick that up. Support from 𝘧𝘬𝘦 as well, who has been good on the clutch. At least to create a little bit more space. Will they make their way through to the lanes or from stairs? Split pushes for sure, but something happy to trade. Off to the other end as well. That's going to be Jing to
Gila,
clean
ada
up.
12.
PaperX finally reaching towards map point.
Well, that's what they were waiting
aku
for,
mati
right? The
gak
6
sih?
rounds in a row that we did see from Boom. This time, they hold off all that early utility. They can't get in towards it when they invest the Steel Garden, but that lockdown just not able to be protected by Berserks. You highlighted that Famous was on the other side of the map. They had to run a marathon to get towards this B
sumpah,
side.
Jing
It was a
nangis
little
gak
bit
sih,
too
Bib?
late. And this is credit towards the space that
Matanya
PaperX
kayak
gave
berair
themselves
gitu.
in the first half, right?
All they need is just one more round, but still 4 chances for Boom to try to really push this all the way through to overtime. Well, I mean, 0 chances actually, but still. Okay. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 digs himself deep into Wine, and see Slasher with the op this time. Will be able to block off Catwalk.
Yeah, would you expect that one? Shiro, though, onto Forsaken as well. Jing, able to at least establish one, but
Yeah.
no trades. So, Boom will hold player advantage
Bisa,
times
bisa,
2.
bisa.
And they just have to make sure that they don't drop this one
Masih
from here. Good
bisa,
crossfire in through mid
bisa.
on the back of the alarm bot.
Oi.
In positions still. Pop flashed over. Shiro peeks.
Oh
Divine
anjir.
and Patman
Anjir.
this B site. Spike
Dari
down
4
now.
lawan 2 anjir.
Soon enough.
Very nicely calculated 2v1 duels there, by the way.
NC Slasher could possibly
Bah,
swap
kalah.
the weapon over
Kalah
onto a
sih ini.
rifle if they are to go for this retake, but 𝘧𝘳, happy to read, pushing further on through as well.
The 𝘭𝘪 is just going to give up all the
Mati.
information. You know the flank is where it's coming from, and you're just going to play protected at the back of the site, because time is your friend now as PRX.
Fragment 2. So Salvos block off stairs, special delivery, and he's looking to find a bit more space, maybe looking to pick them off. PRX cannot make a single mistake. 𝘧𝘳 with the peek out though.
Can't miss a shot here, Quack.
Now on a one-on-one, Petman holding, listening for the drop. The op still a very lethal threat. Hops on over with the shorty, and Petman creates more space in between him and his opponent just to bring the
Sesuai request Bang
scoreline
David
over
ya,
the
game seru atau
finishing
sengit,
line.
iya.
Scoreline is going to be 13-8, and PRX will push us into a map number 3.
Well, we're kind of questioning what is this Ascent map gonna look
Gila,
like
JJ mau
for
nangis.
PRX when they haven't
Ya
played
kan,
it in
JJ
quite
kayak
some
mau
time,
nangis
right?
gitu
Banning it out
kan.
most recently, of course.
Karena dia nggak
They
dipanggil
were pretty
baby
good
lagi
against
kayaknya.
𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘭, but they weren't able to, you know,
Sumpah,
kind
lihat
of
guys,
exploit
lihat
any
guys.
weak links
Tingkah
on
si
the side
David nih.
of PRX here. Really strong to start off the
Ini
map.
kayak muka mau
I don't know
nangis
if I would
gitu,
say exactly
jir.
that, though. I mean, the second
Yeah,
half
Jir.
definitely did look a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, you know, 10 to 2 half, right? You gotta, I mean, you gotta remember that they just did not give themselves enough rope there.
That is definitely true. Something that PRX can pull off when they are in that flow state, finding a lot of these opening picks, you know, pushing together as a team, blocking off a lot of these lanes, preventing Boom truly from mounting an attack.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we get to see Fracture before it does get deleted again. And that's where we go for our third map of this series, Quack.
Yeah, that's definitely what we are looking forward to at the very least. A very explosive map for sure between both teams that can play very fast-paced Valorant as well. Currently, at least, a lot for the teams and the desk to talk over because Boom definitely are not backing down from this fight. Again, looking for that playoff spot. Meanwhile, PRX trying to stay afloat in the entire group. At the same time, yeah, we'll just toss it right over onto the desk to break this entire map down before we head over to our very beloved French.
Ugh, this series is giving so much from Boom and PRX. PRX, who doubted their Ascent? Aren't they? They look like they're pretty good at Ascent.
I think everyone. I thought Alex was supposed to be on fraud watch. I thought we needed a coach to come in and teach us how to play Ascent. I don't know, that defense game plan looked pretty good to me. At the same time, though, Boom had already shown a lot of what they were going to do on attack versus ģ last week, and it really felt. I mean, you talked about it comp-wise. As soon as we saw the comp stat, you felt like it was a little bit of like a counter strat or a soft read in terms of compositional choice. And I think definitely when I saw how it unfolded and the way they played, knowing how Boom likes to play their attack, they like to be very direct. They were bullying 𝘧𝘳 on ģ last week. They were hitting the mains hard a lot of the time, or playing like map control into hard site XX, and PRX just did not let them do any of that. Something got on the op right from the bonus. Both the 𝘭 and the 𝘭𝘠 were just getting in their face with basic util. They were always active and taking something and contesting Boom before they could really get off their execute.
Yeah, those are the three things for me that make me kind of feel like this is a
Dia
deliberate
tanya
sort
aku
of
lagi
anti-strat.
streaming
Number
ya.
one, something in mid with the op all the time.
Masa?
Never gave them the mid space for free, which is exactly what you want to do against this Phoenix comp. Number two, they have the fade to counter in the mains, and number three, they have the Vice, whose wall can't be destroyed by 𝘧𝘳 or 𝘬𝘍 util. So I feel like they had every answer, especially in that first half. You know, things sort of flipped on their head as we got in that second half, but you know, as Komodo kept saying, is I feel like the gap was just too big after that first half.
Can I just say, we know that 𝘧𝘳 isn't really being used that much anymore. We saw her on the last map, and I am so glad to see something back on the 𝘧𝘳 instead of Breach or, you know, something else.
Yeah, I don't care what's better. Just put them on comfort agents. Let them be comfortable. Let them play what they want to play. PRX has never been a conventional team and doesn't need to be. Famous, again, put on a bloody clinic, and it was a certified classic from something initially. Started to fall off a little bit towards the end, and in fact, that attack looked like they were running into some issues. Boom's defense was looking really, really good. I like the second round that they brought to us. They cut a corner, being very far behind, and then they started to come back into the game on the defense. But PRX, for me, really got that game done at the end of the day on their attack, on their defense rather.
Yeah, for sure. You know, as we say, it's all about their defense. But even then, you know, Boom were making that comeback. That last round was a 4v2. Oh, we two for Boom, and then you break your crossfires.
I was
and
just,
everything falls apart.
as soon as I was praising them, they never lose these man advantage situations. They're looking really clean today, and then we saw that round. I was like, oh dear.
I think that's a little bit of the nerves.
Yeah,
a little bit of the nerves creeping in, but you know, they just have to settle it down. But I think something for me was the highlight of this defense. I mean, seeing him back on Jet, it's old school. I mean, you're telling me this is your breach? This is you see him and go, yeah, I think this guy's great with a bolt line.
Yeah. 3 words. Too many buttons. Stop with all the buttons. I mean, that was a pretty nice play. Got right in there. I love the updraft light armor, updraft dash light armor purchase on the pistol, just getting into market. It's not a play that you see very often on the pistol. And there you go, round 4, I think even round 3, right from the bonus, this guy got on the op. Like straight away, no messing around. And that can be very risky. Because realistically, guys, you lose that bonus round where you buy the op, and you've got to go down onto a judge. You're handing the op over to Famous, who might be the best opper in Pacific right now. I mean, looking at the numbers. And
something is contesting that, though.
He was certainly trying to this game.
One map. Let's calm down.
I don't know. I'm just going to say something's probably hands down, one of my favorite jets in the world.
Definitely entertaining.
So I'm very happy to see them and playing it on Ascent, of all things. So I think we're going into map 3 now.
Sure.
Which we originally didn't think was going to happen, or at least some of us didn't think it was going to happen. And Patman being our MVP, first time on the VCT Pacific stage, getting MVP on map 2.
Both games, he's been great. He's been very consistent. I think PRX need another consistent player who could just play his role. He's just playing the init role. He's doing what he should be doing. I really liked, even on attack, you could see the cogs turning a little bit. KO on Ascent attack, you need to be sometimes an agent that can keep the other team in check to some extent. Your utility can very much, like I was talking about Shiro on Pearl side attack for Boom, you could be an agent that if you're reading the game, you understand what the other team's doing and what space they're taking in mains and stuff like that. You don't even really need teammates to hard take the control. You can KO knife, you can KO flash the defense off the line and deny them a lot of information if you're reading the game well. And you could see Patman doing a little bit of that. So even without as much experience on the big stage, you can tell that he's played a lot. You know, he understands the game and what the other team's trying to do.
So Fracture being the next map, PRX, we know this is the one map they're good at, really good at. And this was without Patman. So I'm curious to see now with Patman coming into this mix. I can already see a little bit of change coming from PRX from the first map and the second map here. A lot more communication happening on less of that hive mind and actually just playing like a team that talks to each other.
Yeah,
so
I have to say I'm nervous for Boom heading into map 3. Fracture is naturally a map that fits PRX style. We just saw on that Ascent how aggressive they were on their defense. And Fracture necessitates you to be aggressive on your defense. 100%. So it's a very natural fit. We also previously saw Jing move across to the Brimstone, where he was able to have a much stronger performance than he could on Omen. So I would expect to see that again, expect to see an uptake in his performance, and you know, it's a map that's stylistically great for them. So I think Boom do have their work cut out in this map 3.
Yeah, this is just stage 1 data. In kickoff, they won it twice as well. They were picking it. This is a map PRX usually goes to. So the fact that Boom, especially after the Lotus game that we just saw from them last week, they could have played Lotus. They were left down to Lotus, Fracture, and they said, we're going to play Fracture against PRX as the decider. They might be regretting that decision.
Okay, but to play devil's advocate on the other side, we just talked about how great this anti-strat might have just been from PRX, but we've always talked about how good Boom's anti-strats have been able to be. So they've been able to watch a lot of PRX's Fracture. You know, they've just recently played it in stage 1, so I think they might be trying to take a similar approach that PRX took in map 2 and trying to be a little bit more focused on the counter necessarily than what your own players are best of.
They've had some maps where they've had insane like reads and insane prep, like that last Lotus game that they played against GE. They were all over that. That was an insane defense that we saw from them. So we'll see what they're going to be bringing today. And not to mention, Fracture is not a map Boom's uncomfortable with. I mean, we've only seen them play it once in Pacific, which was against T1. They had a closed first half, and then unfortunately, it was the third map decider, and in the second half, they just let it slip away. And that was the game that kicked off kickoff. Literally, it was the game where I was like, is T1 going to get upset by Boom? And then, unfortunately, they couldn't close the game and the series out, which is always my concern for Boom.
So I'm curious now how they're going to do this. So Patman coming into the mix does change things up. Boom hasn't shown stage 1 Fracture yet. Are they going to keep their comp? So far, based on what they both played, it's a very similar comp with the Neon. I think only the Sentinel was the main difference between the two with the Vice. Yeah, and the Cypher. So I wonder if they're going to change it up. You're right. They have a lot of material, as in Boom has a lot of material to go off of to work on PRX.
But then I suppose if I'm PRX knowing that and I'm bringing in an extra player and I'm able to swap things, we saw, you know, how they were able to show their Pearl and, you know, the kind of double duelist approach. So I think if they want to kind of knock Boom's prep and, you know, try and take it to them, I also think double duelist is very effective. We've seen how great King is on Raze, so that's always going to be there, always going to be a pocket pick that they can bring back if they so choose.
That was T1's old comp, you know, they were playing like Neon Raze, things like that, so definitely could be something that's on the cards. You're probably not going to see something on Breach, so what is he going to play? Because I'm assuming Patman is here to play Breach on Fracture. That's my assumption.
Yeah, I kind of hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
So Jing, I don't see any reason to not put Jing on the Brimstone. He was great last time. That's totally fine.
Oh yes, the Stim Beacon.
Yeah,
it loves a Stim Beacon.
And then
Jing on the Stim.
Who's playing the Senti? I mean, it can be 𝘧𝘬𝘗 or Forsaken. I do actually like Forsaken on things like Sky and on the 𝘴𝘗 when we saw it in kickoff. I really like positionally how he plays that init sometimes.
Sky?
So
what's Sky? Is that a new agent?
Yeah.
I think it's from some island somewhere, like Fiji maybe, or like New Zealand, Tasmania perhaps.
Well, we are going to be going into the third map of the series, and this is exactly what we wanted as fans, as audience of VCT Pacific, and the agent comps looks like has much changed. Guys, take it away.
Not too much has changed here, at least for PRX compositionally, but role-wise, something is going to be on the 𝘴𝘗, so this is going to be a bit of a head-scratcher. Forsaken back on the Duelist, and Patman is on the Breach.
Boom, nothing different here, exactly as we would expect. Famous sticking with that Neon that he's been so good with, and of course running that Brimstone on 𝘺𝘺. 𝘺𝘺 needs to get himself into this game, if you ask me, and I think Brimstone is a perfect way to do that, because he's not been at his maximum capacity, but Brimstone can simplify that, so I'm really expecting big things here. Very, very similar comps, only the Sentinel difference, pure head-to-head Valorant.
𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘦𝘭 going to keep things old school on the killjoys. So I think, you know, Boom have comfort roles. PRX have once again changed things up in the third map decider, and last time against 𝘺𝘰, that went horribly wrong.
Well, let's see if things go horribly right for one of these teams. This is the last map of the series. Does Boom go to playoffs, or does PRX finally get a tick in the win zone? We're going to go back to our casters, 𝘺𝘠𝑚𝑜 and 𝘭𝑚.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Oh, hell yeah. I am so fired up for this final map because it is definitely very much so pure heads-up Valorant. Famous versus Forsaken on the Neon. But what do you think about this, though? Old school versus new school in terms of the Sentinels?
Udah mulai.
Well, 𝘺𝘠𝘧 is quite the rare pick.
Udah, pas banget, udah mulai.
Of course, you know, we're seeing it throw it on back, like Global and RRQ from memory running it, like last time.
Kenapa nggak Aron aja sih yang main daripada Jing main smoker loh.
Boom on this attack.
Aneh banget
already
ya
starting to clear out arcade, getting up towards tower, something dispatched on first casualty.
Iya, makanya kenapa dia jadi smoker padahal udah ada main stake. Jadi role-nya jadi beda lagi gitu.
Yeah, getting activated nice and early. 𝘺𝘺 this time as well. Shiro for 1 and a bit of utility too. You asked about Famous and Forsaken on this Neon. They had a bit of a smooch in the tower just then, but Forsaken wins that one. What I wanted to highlight though again is a lot of these different role changes that come back into what this one, right? The buyback on the Vice, like that we saw on Ascent. I thought he was really proficient in how he was playing those sheer walls, timing on the Thorns as well. Patman, I'm going to be interested to see how his Breach really looks here, because, you know, when you think of Patman, you do think most recently Flash Inits, right? We saw his KO, his Breach here is something that he's hopefully going to be quite proficient on.
Specifically Breach, it is his, you know, most played agent in recent history, but
enak
still, needs to be seen as PRX tries to make their way over. Of course, though, 𝘧𝘳𝘏𝑗𝑠 happy to lock down this entire league with his Marshall online for the ace now. But something is still nowhere to be found. In fact, just hiding up around Canteen in a little corner behind the Sky Smoke, but...
Ace.
Oh.
Ace. Ace.
You see him just making a bit of noise. Mini-map at least. Famous trying to give him the ace, and there it is! to collect on it.
Gila, keren. Tapi ikoran sih jadi nggak gitu keren.
Lumayan, Nico Fek.
Lumayan, iya.
What I want to also say though, we have had two extremely high kill performance maps from Famous, right? Map number 1, Pearl, dropped 27 kills. If you can remember back to Pearl. Map 2, Ascent, just then, 25, right? So he's over 50 kills. No one on his team is over 30 just yet for the series in 2 maps. So are we going to get a lot of more consistency from him, or is it time for someone else on Boom to step up? Conversely, over on PRX's side, more kind of cohesive as a team, spreading the kills. But this is their bonus round, right? This is the one where PRX have the better weaponry. This is the round that they should be winning.
Could even be both, but at least PRX currently pushing out Tree, spotted that everything is clear, now has to hold in towards the B site. Jing as well as Petman able to anchor in towards Arcade though, pushing past the smoke. Jing with the stimmy, he's still going on a bit of a tear until he drops down. Forsaken to collect from Tower. PRX able to find a lot of aggression of their own.
Yeah. Famous caught out in the high gear, unfortunately, was still just running away from Jing's fight. Didn't equip the gun to take that one on the site, but hey, PRX, they are on the board nice and early, so we're not going to have any teams here really establish, you know, a huge lead like the 7-0 that we did see from PRX over on the first map. And then how Boom, you know, over on Pearl as well, kind of ended the first half. That one, I guess you could still say is plausible for both teams here. But a lot of Fracture as well is going to be, you know, kind of what space you're going to look to contain, what calls you're going to look to do. Of course, Boom opting for Fracture here, questionable over Lotus.
Especially against PRX, but
yep,
we shall see.
Fine.
Top map control established for PRX.
Bring the gauntlet down against PRX, but with that also, just to read how PRX might be maneuvering across.
2 spotted.
Famous finds Forsaken, and that's going to be a lockdown deployed as well, but not the full commit just yet. PRX still hanging out cross-bench, Famous keeping them invested. Fast lanes through as well. PRX needs to try to sneak past.
Yeah.
Has to keep their eyes trained down in towards tunnel as well still, because Famous continuing to poke and prod.
He's done his job though.
Yeah, that's just gonna buy a lot of time away from the spike. Now Jing trying to fire back.
On fire
Will
nih,
be
dapat
able
S.
to refrag, but 𝘴𝘂𝘃 instantly refills that position. Now you got Tower as well. NC Slasher is holding that down like nobody's business. Something though. Okay, able to flick back towards it, but yeah. I mean, that's the round already.
Yeah, the one versus 4 is not going to come out from something, unfortunately. Famous did his job, right? He bought so much time to keep them all occupied around Arcade, making sure that they weren't going to be able to get in, destroy the lockdown. You got to respect that one. Everybody hitting their shots on Boom where needed as well. You got a good trade out there from 𝘧𝘬𝘀, but more importantly, the amount of time that Boom was just able to buy themselves, it brings in more time to use these post-plant abilities, right? When you're going to get your salvos back online, you're expecting that 𝘺 is going to have a couple of these lineups with the incendiary, or at least be positioning himself that he can kind of rip that out where needed. The difference now that we're also going to have to see for PRX to contend with is, you know, as I mentioned, you don't see many Killjoys be played on Fracture anymore, right? So they also have to contend with these nanos that are going to come on out.
Oi.
Especially on the attack, possible post plants being found. At least right now. Interesting bit of an eco buy.
Dari mana?
The outlaw in the hand of 𝘧𝘀𝘀. PRX also, you know, playing out some cheap plays of their own. Forsaken on the Bucky. This is positioned up towards a main now, picking up the Aldor.
Yeah. Overdrive available if needed. Could see something sneaky with the fault line from Patman ready. Taking a call, they'll rip on that one. And it is going to come on out.
Oh, shoulder jiggle.
Trap. We've seen this before. I think we saw 2 casualties.
Alt combos and the stealth drone out towards Tree as well now. Here comes Forsaken with the overdrive, but he's shut down by 𝘺𝑠9. 𝘧𝘀𝘀's finding a frag in towards the B side as well. So it's just a Vi trying to hold the off angle. He's been smoked off. Does have an arc rose to play with, and that's the flash, but he flashes himself as well. Oh, what a blunder! Something has to come up here. 1 on 3, he takes down the first.
Kamu kali
Does
2
have
aja,
some
baby.
utility to work off of, but not quite a lot of health. Holds and hugs the wall. Sneaks in, and the stun reveals his positioning. You don't quite have position to pull off the salvos either now, so you're flushed out. But he finds it.
Oh,
And is that from something?
Gila.
And he gets the triple to collect the round up for PRX. Don't
Woi, Maxim.
use though, please. Okay,
Huh?
there it is.
1 tap,
Lucky?
2 tap. Give me
Udah lagi?
more. He's risen from his seat. That is a round that I thought that PRX were going to be out of in the 2 versus 3. Devi flashes himself, but for something there, I mean,
what a clutch.
He gets mollied out, right? Salvoed out. He's got a little small window of timing to find that first duel, but the second sharp shot, just the adjustment of the aim to come on out there. That is, we need to see that back. You ready for it? 1, 2. Absolutely
Gila
gorgeous.
tuh gue
second.
sih.
That's the stuff you can't teach.
Ten,
Can't teach that.
That's just in his genes.
Nice lah, nice.
Still though, ultimate's beginning to cycle through. 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 needing to find the information necessary. So pushing out a tree along with the drone. Boom should be hearing this.
Well, they're going to just contact up towards A. Eventually going to have to call the order, which go for it a little bit quicker.
All the responsibility falling on towards 𝘧𝘬𝘬𝘭's shoulders now. He's being hit with a lot of utility. The salvo flushes him out of position where he's not quite able to recenter himself. 𝘴𝘁𝑘𝑎n, though, arriving on the site. Will be able to find a single frag, but Rolling Thunder now collapses through. Needs to hold out around A main where the door gets pushed upon by 𝘴𝑚𝑦𝑧. Jing, though, happy to push into the smoke to just find a bit more space. Second frag found. Now a 1-on-2. Not much in terms of the utility department, though. Just a smoke, an incendiary. And he has to really suss out these positions. So maybe a bit of smoke for cover just to allow him to deal with the site. So isolating angles at least for now. Oh, he actually pushes through. But 𝘺𝘬𝘦 respecting it, does have the incendiary as well. So this is a really tough spot for Jing to be in. Flashes, dodged. Jing still striking alongside.
Senyum-senyum
Everything's
dia.
found. 𝘴𝘶𝘬𝘬𝘭 is toying with his brain.
He knows that he's positioning himself around that pillar nicely, that time will be won because 𝘺𝘺 still has the incendiary to be able to throw in, and he's just not giving him the fight, right? The way that Boom lose that one is if 𝘺𝘺 continues to play for the fight closely and allows him to just dance around that smoke. Yeah, I mean, 𝘺𝘺 throws the orbital strike in towards A main as well later in the round to make sure that there's no good flanks to be able to come on out as well. Technically, you could call that a bit of a wasted ult, but you understand the idea behind it. Yeah, a lot of trades to come on out. I like that Boom really did speed it up quickly, recognizing the 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 were coming from behind quick. And now they give themselves a little bit of a breathe room, right? They can take a solo round if they want to. They can do it fast as well if they need to. It is the lesser weaponry for 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸.
And this is where I'm not gonna lie, it does get quite chaotic for 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 to try and read the possible plays because this is Fracture after all. And you just have 𝘴𝑚𝑦𝑧 and 𝘐𝑠lasher bursting into the site.
Apa?
Set yourselves up a good post plant here, not drop any more weapons.
Interview.
Oh.
You've got Armageddon as well, and this is how the ultimates are beginning to cycle for Boom, but not even needed for now at least. 𝘴𝘶𝘍𝑚𝑦𝑧,
which duel do I take?
Trying to pull off his best something impression, but it's not quite happening just yet. So Arcros now being tossed over by Divide to create a little bit more space, but can he really do it all? Not too much, at least just to pick up a weapon until his teammate falls. Boom, all happy to hold the positions and the angles. Simple shot found.
Oh, EXO ada skin outlaw ya,
another
Kok
A main
bagus ya.
protocol for them with getting in some early utility, not seeing anything on it, and then speeding up a little bit. So I'm going to be expecting 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 to do something a little bit different coming towards this next round. You're getting into this half as well where you're 4-2 down. Do you want to deploy a bit of a timeout to have a discussion here? I don't think it would be a bad idea from the likes of 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 to just have an early play to make sure that they're, you know, getting this round, the next round as well.
5-0 though. I mean, this is where you really need to find your way across the map. Utility information is very much so key for a map that we're about to say goodbye to.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think in the grand scheme of things what this does mean. Boom, the Ascended team that, you know, they lost Ascension, but they still got a promotion in towards it. Didn't have the greatest start over in kickoff, now 2-0 up, looking for a 3-0. You know, we're seeing Ascension team really do some damage here in Pacific. I mean, you think to the likes of Americas, where you've got G2 really doing some damage, right? But apart from that...
And it's very possible, Komodo. This is, you know, leaps and bounds ahead from the meme Boom that tied around the zip lines.
Yeah.
Now with the heads-up duel, I mean, this almost feels like a full challenge against 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸, like playing really similar compositions, similar roles in terms of the players as well.
Yeah.
And kind of currently outdoing 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 in terms of the macro game.
Well, we're definitely going to need to see a adjustment from 𝘴𝘩𝘰𝘸 who are going to gather some A main control nice and early at the investment of the salvos. Going to play the 4-1, leaving 𝘴𝘗𝑚𝑦𝑧 to his own devices. You can see him activate a little bit later if you need. Your standard sort of wall-in overdrive can throw a bit of a spanner into the works of this one, and hope that you don't undo the wrong bolt at the moment.
Okay, well, at least PRX going for that pinch again, and it's going to be a bit of an empty position played by Boom. They try to flash themselves back into play, but something barrels through. The trade protocols are there for PRX, and it's just 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭 stunned up.
Yeah, we got to remember, Forsaken, he tried to do everything there, but the counter Neon in Famous is what I'm trying to highlight here, and it's just a little bit too late.
A little bit shy in terms of timing, but still not undoable. Does pick up the frag, and the Spike has an opportunity to find his way into a site. The question is, which one is it going to be?
I like that 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 recognize that it's a 2 versus 1, and you can play to the strengths. You go towards the B site because Famous, well, if he goes towards B, you've got all your utility, but more importantly here, Quack, it's the numbers game. You play to the percentages, which is what PRX need.
I love that you highlight that, Komodo, but I am also very much so reminded of a very similar scenario that we saw last week against Munchkin. They had numbers. It also kind of fell by the wayside. Can PRX prove everyone wrong this time? Spike will go down.
This ain't no Haven though, Quack. That's the thing. No dark cover. Famous 1 versus 2. Only his gun and his sprint.
Still positioned up top. Timing. PRX creeping forward. Now spotted. Famous knows exactly where to look. The Spike will get defused as PRX smokes themselves off, goes in for the peak, and picks up the round.
Playing to the percentages, nicely done at the end there. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 to get his first kill on the board as well. So hopefully that can bring in some individual confidence for him. PRX though, Quack at the beginning of that round, really W gaming in that one to take advantage with the stuns, with a Boom caught off guard and not really able to retaliate. A lot of great flashes to come on through. Credit to Patman, I do believe in that one with the stun, with the flashes, and then just the advantage, making sure that you don't drop that one. So on the back of the timeout,
udah fight anjir, udah kill 1 terakhir.
Begins to respect, you know, every time they try to push into Zay main, PRX hits them with that utility if they are in position for it. So,
but the thing is, if PRX gather the full control in A main, they can quickly get a crunch down towards tree as well and make things quite awkward up towards this B side.
And that's exactly what is happening. The adjustments coming in from Boom in terms of the macro game. PRX though trying to get ahead of it as well, but we do have a slight repeat of
dia paniknya naik tali.
years ago. Now,
hey, at least it is everybody.
Dia kayak oh shit.
Boom still stopped in their tracks, and that is the main story of what's happening in this round. Famous though, trying to create some presence of his own while the Bravo squad heads over onto the A site. Something quickly deals with the early presence made known, and then a bit of a trade coming out from Jing. 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭 a trade of his own as well, now looking for the opportunity to sneak into the site. Patman alone to hold. He does have Jing right by him. But look at that spray! A bit of a trade coming out from Jing, and that's gonna be the double kill to end the round!
Yeah, there were so many moments in that round of just different disconnected duels where you had to see some individual plays come through from Boom, right? And it wasn't really working. PRX, apart from that last duel that we really see, were always doing it together in numbers. You got Forsaken and Patman in the beginning, you got that one that we see there, but the trades. The name of the game, the trades, really from PRX, not overstepping too hard. Jing able to double down at the end there as well to start to look to equalize this map.
And that's what I really love now coming out from PRX, beginning to catch up to Boom in terms of the macro game, getting the reads to smoke off Boom's advances, and then the trade protocols coming back through into it. So Boom trying to find some adjustments. They got a bit of a half by now, bunching up towards A main.
Great shot.
PRX holds long range, reading their attempts at a play as well. Salvos though, and Forsaken looking to meet where Famous head-to-head off to the other end in towards A main. The entire PRX squad descending upon Boom just to collect on the frags.
And you see early on as well, Forsaken not dissuaded by all that early utility, not going to fall on back. He's got his team there to support him. He's just going to go in for the charge and catch catch Boom off guard. A lot of great shots to come out from them on this little lesser equipped round of Booms, and now as we do tie things up 5 apiece, right, I'm kind of questioning, are we going to get any decisions on the side of Boom, or are they happy enough, right, to hold these timeouts for the next half? Are they happy with 5 on the attacking side so far?
You know, just the fact that it's 2 rounds left, you might imagine they're saving it. You have a lot of ultimates at play, though, for the remainder of this first half. And Boom happy to hold this time as PRX pushes out, completely punished.
The turret!
Jing, though, trading right back, and then the rest of the squad to head on over into the A site.
𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘭, the turret was shooting him, and he just wasn't able to find it in the full chaos around the tree. But now, a 2 versus 3.
Fairly chaotic.
Into the site, and look at the post-plant utility that Boom are going to have here. Salvos will come back online, an Armageddon. You got a Rolling Thunder and an Aftershock, and where you're planting it, you do set yourselves up for walls to be able to use a lot of that.
So a possible save for PRX, but something does have the Armageddon as well.
Yeah,
He's able to deploy it to the right position, might be able to find something more.
They've got a lot of money, so you're definitely going
TikTok.
for it.
So right now, coming out towards Dish and Drop. A little bit spotted out. Famous continuing to jiggle, looking for an opportunity. Rolling Thunder at the right time, though, does crunch into the players from PRX, but Jing saves something's life. And that's going to be now the stun. And 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 just playing that situation to perfection back there, swapping over onto the shorty.
Yeah, and ripping the Rolling Thunder off the back of the contact as well, right? As soon as those smokes do come on down, you know that that's going to be go time to kind of catch them none the wiser. The jewel in the tree, this time we're crediting the trade game of Boom, right? Able to find the player advantages, swinging back over towards the other side. A little bit of an overheat from Famous, I will say that one there. For which team? For both teams.
Both, yeah. Just completely erupting in Rapture, but still, this half is not over yet, and we still have ultimates at play.
If something has the Armageddon at the right spot, and it's positioned towards the site on the back of the shear, that could have really hurt Boom if they wanted to go close. But sheer timing to reset, and Quack, there's 4 ults for Boom here. That's right. You could just set up for a lockdown. You could force out an Armageddon. You could try and force out the Steel Garden.
For PRX as well. And that's why they're positioned so defensively. They've been pushing out for the past few rounds, and Boom read that in the previous one, being able to find those trades back in.
Oh.
But now all of a sudden, just a bit of utility, and that's a Rolling Thunder sent in towards Arcade. Boom reads this as the go signal into the A site. Armageddon right on the spot, though. It's just Famous and 𝘧𝘬𝘦 into the site. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 into the smokes as well. Oh, Forsaken. Famous, he's trying to get ahead of it all. Brimstone ults all across the map. Lockdown in play as well. Forsaken able to hunker down, but 𝘧𝘬𝘦 for the trade. That's a bit more space in towards spawn now. The rest of the PRX squad all coming out from main.
Still got the Armageddon, remember.
Aftershock. Boom, still happy to hold. They don't quite need to fight. They don't quite need to peek. And that's where the onus falls on the PRX.
Armageddon in 5 seconds till salvos.
Just holding, just waiting for it. PRX still trying to barrel their way through, but nothing much found. Just a bit of a frag. Jing takes down 𝘧𝘬𝘬𝘭. But there's the utility. Goes in for the peek. Tries to isolate more duels.
And that's it.
And that's a salvos. The time has been burnt. Jing knows it. The round is over.
7-5. That's a good recovery on the last 2 rounds there from Boom, I will admit. And this round as well, PRX a little bit confused on what space Boom had found, right? Around Arcade, putting in the Rolling Thunder, sending in Forsaken with that overdrive as well to fully clear it on out. You've got a lot of different positioning that come out from Boom, but they're so patient when they get in towards the site. I mean, disregard Famous trying to take a duel against Forsaken pretty much towards the spawn, but the rest of the squad, they are very focused on protecting that spike, buying time, right? You've got all of those exit strategies with the Armageddon, with the salvos, with the crossfires to come out as well. 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 with the shorty, I mean, playing a couple of strengths there as Boom, but I want to know, right? Is 7-5 going to be enough for either of these teams on the switch up? Right, are we going to get a really good lead out from Boom here, or from PRX, or are we going to get a lot of backwards and forwards action, right? Because Fracture a map, when you've got these 4 different chokes that you can start things off on, you have a mistake at the very beginning, you could be pushed into an awkward save, and that's the sort of situation where coming in towards a map like Fracture, for the likes of Boom, who haven't had that much play on it, right? Recently, at least, could see them crumble a little bit.
Yeah. Great cosplay from the fans at least, but you're absolutely right, Komodo. It's going to be tough to say who exactly could come up with the lead, but one thing we can say for sure is the fact that it all begins with that pistol. That's just top tier analysis coming out from me anyway. But no, it's very much true because that dictates the pace for the entire rest of this half. And at least looking at statistics right now, Boom leading very much more so, given PRX's recent losses. You got to be able to read the game as well, and Boom has, again, just been doing such a good job of that.
It does look a little bit more comfortable from what I've seen so far for PRX as opposed to when they were playing 𝘴𝘠𝘬. I will say that, but I feel like you've still got a couple of key people who are not really getting activated as best as I thought they might be.
So maybe now with Patman in the roster trying to launch something different, they actually went for a very specific route through tunnel. Boom kind of gets a sniff of that, so with the stealth drone, trying to suss them out, but doesn't see too much.
Yeah, 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠's seen nothing in A main, so there's a call here for the squad to come on over. You can contact on up at the moment, and you actually might be able to overwhelm 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠 and not see 𝑁C/𝘧𝘬 be able to activate.
They are traps in of their own right as well, though. 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘠 and 𝑁C/𝘧𝘬, they've been pretty darn good so far, and that's going to be that fault line. 𝑁C/𝘧𝘬 coming in with the support. Trades found for Boom. But PRX finds their own trades as well. A third one now as 𝘧𝘬𝘠 gets taken out. Famous, though.
Before the flashes, a bit ill-advised.
It's a little bit tough, but still 𝘧𝘬𝘦 now trying to get ahead of pressure. Does push 𝘧𝘬𝘦 out of position. Low HP as Forsaken tries to hold the off angle, but now as he turns back around, that's another kill found for Boom. Jing, it's all down to you. Low HP as well as he swings out. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 to find the easy shot in towards center mass.
Yeah.
Boom with the pistol.
The stuns in main as well, right? Both sides getting stunned on up. You got 𝘧𝘬𝘀 awaited for. You got a flash then going in for 𝑁C/𝘧𝘬𝘠 just before it's able to fully activate and blind up PRX. Again, the trade game and the patience from 𝘧𝘬𝘦. You might have seen him look to really wide swing out in towards main against two members of the PRX boys. You know, imagine if he falls there. It makes it very difficult for Famous to be able to try and close out the round or get down from drop. So the fact that 𝘧𝘬𝘦 falls back just a little bit and then it goes into the 1 versus 1 HP advantage of that scenario for 𝘧𝘬𝘦 and is able to just dispatch of his enemy, which means here, Quack, we got another pistol round going the way of Boom.
And that's beginning to be that defining factor for Boom as well. 𝘧𝘬𝘦, I mean, such a calm presence for the team.
And his absence on the previous maps as well, right? Finally feeling worth here.
And looking at this as well, I mean, the Sky Smoke's instantly deployed to block off A main. PRX thinking to explode off of it. They come into this round with a force buy of their own. And this is by that needs to pay off in dividends.
Oh, absolutely. If this round doesn't go your way, maybe even convincingly, it makes it really awkward for PRX.
Famous sidestep the fault line. A relay ball from Forsaken as well, just to push them back.
But it's balanced.
Huh?
Still though, it's a round where PRX needs to find and seize some form of an initiative. And it's going to be Famous seizing that positioning instead. Still though, trades found right back.
No one able to really help him in that situation, unfortunately. So 4 versus 4 in towards the A side.
Bikin
4 versus
TikTok
2 maybe
yang
if you're just talking about the Boom
dibilang
players
it's okay.
but look at 𝘧𝘬𝘠
Dibilang it's
stopping them
okay.
in their
Gue
tracks,
santai aja
completely halted
karena
as
gue
PRX trying to push
memang
past the
oke.
smokes. Can they find the frags? They don't. It's 𝘧𝘬𝘦 who finds a single one before
GG Boom menang.
just descends upon them with a full stinger magazine.
I've been a little bit hesitant to say his name in this one so far because playing on this 𝘧𝘬𝘠, 1 assist, right? No successions really coming out from the drone for the team to find any kills on the back of. No major salvo plays, no stun salvo traps as well to net him a kill, right? He had 2 kills in the first half. Now he's just doubled that one up coming in towards the second. He could be calling a masterful game behind the scenes, right? Very well possibly could, which is where the value will come from him. But if he
GG Davai kena kalah sama 𝘧𝘬𝘦.
it could be the missing factor for one team to really
personal banget tuh
Iya. Wah itu 𝘧𝘬𝘦 sih seru banget sih itu pasti.
It's going to be a little bit tough as Boom are looking a lot more confident. The stun though will help out just a bit.
GG udah fix GG.
And now the
Tuh,
stuns
personal
once again. It does give away in positioning though, but still PRX not quite able to break past through these choke points.
And they're locked. They are locked in. They have to either fully disconnect here or they have to try and just win a single duel. That's all the info that Famous needed.
And more
Makanya aneh banget.
lines
Bing
being
Aaron
down,
deh yang pakai.
especially with the Outlaw being reloaded. Just Stinger and Spectre, something at hand, trying to spray through, spray pass. It's not quite happening.
Nih kok ini force buy.
PRX with a bit of cold water.
Yeah, and that was another bit of a force up for PRX in that round too, right? So now you're playing on the back of your loss bonus to get you these primary rifles. You're still going to have Patman who's down towards the Spectre coming into this next round. Understandably so, right? His goal in this sort of round is going to be to get a good stun for his team, to get good flashes, to provide them the entryways in.
Aneh banget
But there really needs to be a different look towards PRX at the moment, right? Because you drop the pistol. Oh, why did they...
Oh, I like that kind of reaction.
That's a rough one.
Gila, itu marah banget.
And it's a real question that we do have to ask, because right now in
Katanya,
this very
why
round, if PRX doesn't find a
Why do
round,
you have to buy
this could
again?
be it. Boom.
Emang iya?
Very much
Oh, karena si Patman beli sendiri.
A little bit of a flash up though,
Iya.
and Forsaken tries to answer back. Sprays through the smokes and does find a double. A bit of an opportunity for PRX to answer back.
You gotta remember,
Gila, serem sih. Kayak Batman baru day one ya. Main di PRX udah diteriakin aja sama si Alex.
Happy to, but Patman recognizing that as well, holds the position. Famous in with the Outlaw now, spots out Forsaken. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 taking that opportunity to peek out. Famous now finding the trade, and both Neons kick things into high gear. Forsaken off towards the other line, expects and anticipates the slide out. Jing to support.
Itu baru reaksi coach PRX
Ya,
yang
mungkin dong.
gua tahu marahnya
Nggak
serem.
mungkin comeback dong. Nggak mungkin comeback dong, Beb.
Anjir, Alex marahnya marah banget, bro.
Jamit. Sabar, aku mau lihat replay Alex marah.
Tapi kan kalian nggak bisa dengar kan? Kayak
nggak bisa.
Tapi ntar kalau nonton replay tuh
Sabar, Beb. Sabar. Aku lagi dengerin.
That's it. That's the next thing I was going to mention, and we know how impactful he can be, and he's on the line.
Gotta be so careful, but unfortunately,
Gila, teriak banget loh, sumpah.
Stealth drone out, so they know exactly where he is, but PRX looking to re-challenge. Famous now fully blinded, has to back off.
Yep, and you can reset here, right?
Ngomong apa
Has
Beb
got
si
the shear
Alex?
over at A, so you know no
Nggak
one's
tahu
on.
kayak why do you buy
From
again
Boom.
atau apa
kan?
gitu.
Necessarily need
Yeah.
to press the
Kedengarannya
issue.
kayak why do you
They've got
have to
player
buy again
advantage.
gitu.
They've still got a lot of
Iya,
this
kayak
utility
gitu.
that they
Coba ya,
yet
aku
to
denger ulang
utilize.
ya, aku penasaran.
Still a
Serem
really tough
banget,
game
bro.
for PRX, and this is
serem.
where I do kind of want to bring up a point of discussion. You know, I know people have talked about this before, but someone might need to step up in terms of leadership for the team.
Yeah, that's what I said a little bit earlier, right? And how do you do that in a round such as this, where your entryway in Forsaken is gone, right? A contact play out main. Boom, happy enough to play probably retake here.
Yeah, Orbital in the hands of 𝘧𝘬𝘦. Famous still happy to re-peek with a lot of these angles as well. At least PRX though doing their due diligence to try and block them off.
Ready for a stun for NC Slasher to Orbital Strike Combine. And that's red and at least dodged on the side itself.
30 seconds left, and you're starting to feel that pressure. Will PRX crumble, or will they stand tall? Something at least tries to fend them off. But 𝘧𝘬𝘦 to punch right back.
Rolling Thunder in and be really good here.
Patman trying to get the best possible timing for it. Stunned and concussed up. He's just waiting for the go signal. There it goes. Unfortunately though, Boom, they've avoided most of it. Famous coming out from the A main position. Patman trying to slow him down. In with the sprays, Jing with the support, and that's PRX being able to collect a round right back against Boom when they're feeling the hottest.
Oh, baby Jing!
So much crucial time being bought from 𝘧𝘬𝘦 on the Thorns as well, right? Just waiting for the Flood retake to start to come in from Boom. You got the Rolling Thunder out there as well. And just the fact that something's able to find one kill. 𝘧𝘬𝘦 gets elevated and dispatched off, and then you've got a little delayed crossfire a bit later on the
Why
side
did he
itself.
buy again?
Nicely done from Jing to close that
berarti
one
buat
down
Patman.
again, you know, on this Brimstone, right? Doesn't
Kayaknya karena dia
necessarily need to always be caught
beli
out with
sendiri.
that.
Iya, round sebelum beli, terus dia beli lagi.
Iya, betul.
Still though, those rounds are far and few between. PRX back on the advance.
I'm a little bit surprised at how hesitant Boom are to use utility to clear over at main, having already seen 𝘧𝘬𝘦 shear. You want to pop that, throw a bit of hesitancy in it.
It is a round where they are sitting on an eco, so happy to surprise PRX with some of the positions that they're holding. Here comes that first sheriff shot.
Drifty.
Looking for a bit more.
Player advantage, by the way.
Ntar abis game ini lah.
PRX looking for the spike plant, but it's entirely safe. There it goes.
Udah habis game ini aja.
And Boom possibly looking for exits right now. Salvos to flush them out of position. PRX
Dua ya, lu bikin satunya apa?
Looks to close in the distance.
Iya, lu dulu bikin satu.
𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 finds one. He finds two. The buy though.
Dos dapat 2 loh.
Needs a little bit more. He
Iya, kena
peeks
stun,
in.
kena stun dia.
Zero answers back. And now it's just a 1-on-2.
Waduh.
Something needs to find
Comeback
all
dong.
of it. He feels the pressure.
Gila,
Being
thrifty,
deep
guys.
He peeks out. The molly burns at something's feet.
2 shots out of the Sheriff is going to stall you, then into the flames, and you
kita
will
lihat
not
Alex
carry
marah
on,
lagi nih
unfortunately. A Thrifty
Wah,
to come
gila.
here for
Gila, itu
Boom
meja bentar
as they
lagi
inch one
ambruk
step
sih.
closer towards the series
Kena
point.
Thrifty.
Nah, Thrifty sih udah pasti diteriak sih.
Well, I was looking at the Armageddon in the end there, and it was 1 away for kind of both of them, right? So the fact that had the kill gone something's way, potentially could have used it for 𝘧𝘬𝘦 to get off it, but yeah, just the timing, the molly to not necessarily go for the kill, right?
Wah,
It's
time
the
out
scare
langsung,
tactic
bro.
to make sure that if he's gonna take the duel, he's gonna die.
Saatnya kena marah ini.
Much needed timeout.
Oh yeah.
Possibly dreaded by the players as well.
Nah, aku udah
I
pengen
mean,
lihat Alex
rounds have
teriak-teriak nih.
Haphazard.
Yep.
Serem,
And you
serem,
got to
serem.
remember as well, when Alex got really, I don't want to say angry, but it kind of looked at it, right? When you've got a force buy upon a force buy at the beginning of this half, you have essentially delayed your start towards this second half and given a round over towards Boom, where the scoreline, you know, if that didn't happen, it could have been 10-7, right? It could have even had you in the lead and a change up because you start to get your gun rounds earlier on, right? We're not in that universe right now, but it's an 11-7 where this has to be an extremely important timeout to, you know, have an immediate effect. This needs an immediate effect in this gun round for PRX, and it's not even a great looking gun round back.
Yeah, Bucky, Spectre.
But you do have the overdrive for Forsaken, so if you can somehow get him on the right line early on.
On the attack though.
Enak banget nyet, B-nya selalu 3 nyet.
Best winning percentage for PRX currently.
Kayak kamu, enggak kayak kamu.
Apa?
Enggak kayak kamu sendiri ya di bisa ya.
Iya.
Slasher close to the Rolling Thunder as well. And look at this.
Ini kalau gue nih sendiri nih 1-4 nih.
Turrets play contact over towards the top side of the map, where you've got the alarm bot and the nanos at the choke of the entry from tree. So if PRX wanted to play Stally,
Belum.
can be held at bay for a bit.
2 round.
Overdrive, Steel
Garden,
Armageddon as well coming out from bench, but nothing found. Can Forsaken find a little bit more to keep PRX invested in the game? Tries to hold tower with the
Aduh.
optimal spot. Armageddon from PRX as well. Still famous, beginning to find an opening. The spike is down and PRX needs to hold, but
Oh, kena ulti.
beginning to push out a little bit
Ya,
more.
nguy.
Trades found by NC Slasher. Now famous looking to take space up by tower. Trades found by Jing once again. 2-on-2, but something holding the exposed angle. Now it's a tough spot for Jing to
Turun
fire through. Tries to clutch it out,
lagi.
but
Nggak mau.
𝘧𝘬𝘦 finds it
Latihan dulu,
instead.
latihan dulu.
Boom will reach series point.
The trades, man. PRX are looking so good in the trades, but it's just the difference in having one member up or
Dah, gue pengen lihat
down.
𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 shake hand.
I mean, the goal for Famous to just jump
Oh,
on
yeah.
into the incendiary in tower as well, send it through there, does get traded.
Gue
but
pengen lihat
NC Slasher
shake
on the
handnya
kill
𝘧𝘬𝘦
was
ntar.
something they already know where the last soldier in Jing is, and
Sumpah
it's
nih,
just
bocil.
burning
Iya.
up again.
Makanya.
This is now series
Wah,
point
carry lagi.
for Boom Esports, who aren't going to win this in the 2-0
Gila,
fashion if they
2-2
get it here, by the
loh.
way, but it means
Iya.
that they should qualify for
Ngamuk si 𝘧𝘬𝘦.
playoffs.
Yeah, right on the cusp of it. And they feel it
Sebelum
very
lah,
much
kan
so.
2022
PRX
anjir.
now,
Udah lama banget.
last breath,
Itu Davai
last
15
stand
mati,
as they
10-nya sama
buy
𝘧𝘬𝘦
up.
kayaknya.
Guardians,
Wah, kena mental udah.
Vandal for
Iya.
Davai, but still, as they try to push their
Wah.
way into the site, orbital strike at hand as well. Famous re-peaks with the outlaw. Forsaken answer back, but now a lot of the site being smoked off. Something has to hold up towards top, but
Aduh.
Shiro
Oh,
trading right
Di-track,
back.
di-track.
Numbers advantage somewhat, but
Hang
NC
on.
Slasher
Dua-dua.
has an angle.
gak dicek nih angle-nya.
The spike down, waiting
Nunggu
for the
stun.
fault line to come back
Nunggu
alive.
stun.
Forsaken has to play a very careful jiggle
Nunggu
because
stun.
it's pretty much sandwiched
Ada
in,
stun sekarang, molly
flashed
stun.
out,
There's salvos now.
and a lot more as well. Tries to flush,
Don't go with.
Here comes that fault line. Forsaken springs, looks for the slide in, and that's the Guardian to keep PRX alive.
I mean, I say it time and time again, stuns in this game are pretty cosmetic.
Oh,
when you can just
cepet
still hit
lah.
shots like that as Forsaken. I thought that there was going to be, you
Kita
know,
abis ini
special
bikin
delivery
FTV
or
drama
a
lagi,
drone
guys.
to go in a little bit earlier in to start
Itu
the
TikToknya.
fight. That would have found Forsaken
TikTok.
potentially in the 2 versus 2, and maybe it looks to be a little bit differently
Tuh.
at the end there. But Shiro
Bib, kamu
not
post
opting
gak
to
sih,
do
Bib?
that one, unfortunately, waiting
Enggak,
for
Rarki yang
salvos
post.
to come on up.
Kamu nggak post, kamu nggak jadi
Only
bikin sama
PRX, they
Chess.
do hold on, right? So
Itu
they
Rarki
need to
yang post
navigate
jadi.
4 more rounds to try and
Ya,
push
tapi
this
kamu
into
bikin lagi lah yang
overtime. There's
untuk
going to
di
be some
TikTok
ecos and
kamu.
some big old gun rounds, and I'm waiting.
Hey,
I'm seeing for Boom. You
Timotheus.
take the knee in this one. You got an orbital. You
Ah,
got
hampir,
closer to
Cok.
overdrive.
Not even taking full
Oh,
knee
bejir,
either,
bejir.
'cause they're happy.
Wah, ini
Going for that
momentumnya
scuffle
PRX
against
nih kalau kayak
PRX.
gini nih.
Forsaken, though, looking to collect
Lari-lari
as
doang
much
nih.
as possible.
10 detik udah
He
di side.
needs as much as possible for the rest of the map. I can see it all written over his face, and the previous player can.
Iya,
The
sumpah.
situation
Aduh,
is
smoke-nya liat tuh,
tense
nyet,
right
nyet.
now, Komodo.
But it's okay. This is one of those rounds for PRX that they should be winning with 5 alive.
Coba nggak force buy nggak kena
They
thrifty.
may. Hey, they may.
Udah 11-11.
12-9 and Boom looking to hold for exits at least.
Ganti
Something
coach.
beginning to peek out.
PRX.
Aduh.
We'll spot out 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭.
Yuuu.
The thing is, it does more damage in these scenarios to PRX than it would to Boom. Because they already have the ults for the players that are alive. There's one gun down. So one is
Kesel sih
fast.
matinya
They'll be
liat
able to re-get that in the
142,
next round,
148.
but, you know, it's 3 more rounds, right?
Ah,
It's
time
just
out
gonna
nih.
take one little misstep for PRX
Oh,
here,
belum,
and
belum.
that could be the
Ya,
series.
masih ada.
And I'm looking towards a couple of these ultimates, right? There's a reason they're called
PRX udah
ultimate.
nggak
They
ada
can be
time out ya?
round defining. And this
Sisa
one they
cuma
can
Oh, udah nggak ada ya?
series
Iya, sisa
defining
boom.
in the
Iya,
current point that we're
sisa
at.
boom belum
Iya.
kepake sama sekali.
Possibly playoffs defining as
Iya,
well.
boom nggak pakai sama
Not just
sekali
for
loh.
Boom, but for PRX as well. Again, this loss will seriously.
Tapi Beb, kalau misalnya
affect
kamu
their
punya
chances
coach kayak si
of possibly
Alex,
making it
kayak
through.
kamu pertengahan
Currently
game kamu
sitting
diteriakin,
at
kamu makin kena
0-2
mental nggak?
overall.
Kan nggak bisa dengar.
Boom now
Enggak, maksudnya kayak pas time out.
looking to push out a bit more information
Oh
outside
iya
of Shrink.
iyalah.
Some rotations towards the A side, and if you go there as PRX, you're contending with a lot of this Killjoy utility. But it is on the
Nggak bakal
quieter
diterakin
approach.
sih
You
kalau
have that
tembak.
alarm bot at drop first for Boom to get
Ya,
an idea.
tapi
They've
harusnya
also,
pasti
more
tahu
importantly,
juga
Hikmak
sih,
pushed
nggak
out
boleh
Tree
kasih
and seen
pressure.
no contest.
Iya.
from
Iya, kenapa
PRX.
dipakai?
So this is
Oh,
gonna be
Byron
one of
ya?
those full retake rounds for Boom.
Especially with that
Oh,
possible lockdown as well.
untung
As long as
dicek lah
Berserk
sama
goes
Jing loh.
undiscovered, but now spotted out by Jing, so lockdown gone. But you do have a
Jauh
player
tidurin,
up
Stone.
towards spawn.
Ah ini nih, ini yang nentuin nih. Ini yang nentuin roundnya nih.
Safe.
Ah,
Something
PRX menang.
playing into the drop position. Jing now pushing out. 𝘧𝘬𝘦𝘭 as well, but now Famous comes back in through Sands, where he finds Jing's head. No more
Penting buat
KO in
kita,
play.
nggak mungkin
𝘧𝘬𝘦
dong.
to duke it all out. 1-on-1.
It is planted for him.
No Archros though. After shocked out, an NC Slasher trying to clear as much as possible. Goes in for the tap and flash.
Oh, again.
He bounced off of it, and that's the
Selalu
entire
anjing.
map. How did that just happen? NC Slasher clutching out the round for Boom. The final
Ya, gue pengen lihat
scoreline,
secondnya, gue pengen lihat secondnya, Cak.
13-9. This team wasn't even really
Gila.
supposed to be
Lihat,
here.
dos
but here
senyum
they
lebar
are.
tuh.
They have
Dia 2 rounds
absolutely
loh.
come with a
Dia nge-flash diri
storm
sendiri.
behind them, propelling
Pistol
them
run.
forward, haven't they? That is not a
Pistol
2-0
defense.
fashion this time, Quack, but it is
Dia mau nge-swing keluar
PRX
smoke,
being
dia
shut
buta
down on
sama
the
Messi
map
sendiri.
3, and all 3 of those maps had moments of brilliance from
Lihat,
every
lihat,
single
lihat.
player, from the
Aduh,
team
muka mereka,
collectively.
sumpah muka
But a
Jing udah pengen
couple
nangis itu.
of missed decisions from PRX's side in this map here on Fracture specifically.
Lihat.
And they
Ya.
like have fun.
I'm still at
Weh, dos sama Davai dulu loh.
Iya, yang
You've been
pertama.
mentioning how the stuns are somewhat of a cosmetic. That was a flash,
Yeah.
but he still turned off of it. And that's just pure instinct coming into play. Boom.
Hah?
They've been great
Ini.
on the macro. They've
Coachnya
been
siapa?
stopping PRX in their tracks. And they're taking
Tuh,
Oh, iya,
playoff
iya, ada ya?
qualified
well deserved
langsung.
bout on the stage.
Iya. Emang minimal 3,
Give them
harus
this
3 menit.
moment for sure, don't you? We get to hear from
Gila,
somebody
Boom lolos
for
playoff
them,
loh.
but you just have to know how excited they are.
Dia
with this
atau
win.
aku
Truly
anjir.
ascending forwards and upwards inside of this Pacific group stage, stage 1, and we will hear from them a lot more
Dah,
as
ya,
Jen steps
bikin
onto the
TikTok.
stage.
Dasar bikin TikTok. Udah Gi.
Bikin dulu aku ya, bentar ya.
Continuing
Yeah.
their
winning
ke flash
ways.
sendiri lagi,
Congratulations,
iya.
guys. Now I'm gonna need Mr. Famous over here.
Loh, kenapa Famous jadi NC Slasher?
박수 부탁드립니다. 붐이 벌써 3연승 무패 행진을 기록하고 있습니다. 가장 먼저 최근 이런 좋은 흐름에 대해서는 선수들끼리 어떤 얘기를 하고 있는지부터 여쭤보고 싶네요. Congratulations, Famous. That's 3 wins in a row already. What are the talks and how are you guys
Kenapa
enjoying
si
this upward
NC Slasher
trajectory that
jadi
you guys are on
famous?
right now?
We just keep playing like in our scrims, and we just at least we need to have fun also.
Scrims looking good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright. 그냥 스크림하고 경기하면서 즐겁게 무대를 즐기려고 하고 있는데 스크림 결과도 굉장히 좋다고 얘기를 하네요. 그리고 페이머드 선수 스테이지 1 들어서 모든 선수들 통틀어서 지금 오퍼레이터 킬수 1위거든요. 오퍼수로서 스스로에 대한 자신감은 어느 정도인지 또 물어보고 싶네요. Now, I don't know if you know, but you are currently number 1. You are leading in operator kills in Pacific. For stage 1, yeah. So how confident are you as the opper, right? Would you say you're maybe the best Pacific opper, or maybe one of the best in the world? And what do you think makes you so good with the sniper rifles?
Just keep holding angle. Like.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say you're one of the best or the best?
No, not yet.
겸손하게 아직까지 뭐 퍼시픽 최고는 아닌 것 같고.
Sabar, ini kayak si Takel nggak bingung ya, dia dijadiin
잘 보고
famous.
어떤 각을 쓰면 좋은지 알고 있기 때문에
Seorang
그냥
anjir.
뭐 어느 정도 잘 하는 것 같다고 그게
Itu famous
오퍼의 비결이라고 얘기를 합니다. 그러면 다음 경기는 진짜가 옵니다. PRX를 상대하게 됐거든요. 연승 이어갈 각오 한마디 부탁드리도록 하겠습니다. Now, I feel like next week is going to be a big test for you guys. It's going to be PRX. 4 in a row, maybe?
I hope.
You hope?
I hope.
Alright. I mean, are you supposed to get famous? And then I got confused. NC Slasher. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Thank you for supporting us and keep cheering for us.
Okay, keep slaying.
Yeah.
네. 재밌을 것 같고 4연승 이어가면 좋겠다고 얘기를 했습니다. 이렇게 해서 NC 슬래셔 선수 만나봤습니다. Thank you, NC Slasher. See you next week.
Thank you.
Kenapa Takel bingung-bingung gitu anjir? Well,
Boom close this out, and they are officially qualified for playoffs. And doing it on this fashion on Fracture, what a way
pertama
to
gak sih
enter
Bung?
in the
Pertama
playoffs.
yang
So
qualified
well
langsung
deserved
ke
for this team. They
playoff.
looked phenomenal the whole way through. They only dropped their first map today in week 3 and bounced right back in map 3. You would have told me that that's an Indo team, that's an SEA team. It's able to look so consistent, so composed. I wouldn't have believed you, but they proved everybody wrong. What a pleasure it's been to watch them.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't even famous doing the majority of the dirty work this game. You had 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭, who had a very quiet series, step up in the third map. NC Slasher was fantastic, and I think Boom overall on that defense, being able to close out the game. The insane Sheriff rounds just show you how sharp some of these individual players, like not only 𝘧𝘦𝘦𝘭, but 𝘧𝘳𝘦𝘦 as well, even hitting like one taps on a Neon, you know, bunny hopping at him and moving around absolutely everywhere. So really nice stuff from Boom. Love what we've seen from them this season, and they close out another very tight game. Similar to what we saw in like that 𝘧𝘰𝘬𝘭 game, you start to get a little bit nervy for Boom and you think, are they going to be able to actually get this over the line? But they've done it again. Every time that I ask that question of them, they're able to close it. So especially given that second half with PRX's attack on Fracture, which the last 3 games in a row has been stellar. Like, it's been 3 great attacking sides for them in a row. He was able to put that away.
What do you guys make of the... I think we had a little bit of a differing opinion here. Alex, we could see the coach cam when he got furious when they bought four spot twice in a row. But Big Time, you think that's not what went wrong?
It's not that crazy, right? So you buy the Stingers, you know, you're trying to like steal the round, and if that doesn't work, you can afford Stingers again and then a 4x. So you kind of like, you do, it's a risk, you take a hit, but you know, it's not impossible. I think the problem will come in is if it's something they've not practiced, like if the players are good with Stingers and it's not something they have reps in, then it could be a problem. And you know, it's not the safest way to manage your economy if you're behind. It is a risk. So I could understand him being,
Nggak usah.
a little bit upset by
Aku
it if it's
menurut
not
kamu aku
something
reveal
that they
sekarang
have
apa nggak usah?
prepared as an idea. But
Ya terserah kamu.
as an idea, I don't think it's
Hah?
horrible.
So that wasn't the problem then.
I mean, I don't think so.
I think the
Kamu
problem is
mau
just they're
review
not
sekarang
North
apa antar
American
bareng
and
aku?
they're
Yeah, they
buying singers so much.
I mean, the way it works in NA is they practice with the
aja
stingers. You
lah.
see them do this again and again and again, and the other regions don't use it
Nggak tahu,
as much.
kita
So
emang
when they do
perginya
use
kapan,
it,
nggak
they're
tahu
not
gua.
as
Okay, guys, PRX is actually really good with stingers. I
Yeah.
have to put that out
Udah
there, but
buru.
that definitely didn't happen because Boom held it down
Yeah.
better. There was a little bit of a zipline situation, a little bit of a hard back to 2022.
Aku
Boom,
hosting dulu dah.
when Berserks went down on that
Guys,
zip line, but it doesn't matter because they end up closing out this map. So this is going to be huge for them. NC Slasher, like you guys were talking about, MVP
Bye, guys.
on this particular